UFC weigh-in show coming to you from New Jersey, where you're getting it set for UFC 288. Triple C coming out of retirement, looking to capture another title. Aljamain Sterling has other ideas, ladies and gentlemen, especially since it's a home game for the champ. We are here and we are ready. The fighter's ready in just a matter of moments. Walking to the weigh-in stage, Cejudo, Aljo, and the other 24 stepping to the scale in just a matter of minutes. This is the official UFC 288 weigh-in show presented by Modelo, and it is coming to you from the Prudential Center. Welcome inside, everybody. Always my pleasure to be joined by the great Laura Sanko. And do these guys not know what time the show starts?
We have always known that I am the responsible one in the show, and this is just, it's proving it.
I mean, it's a joke, really. I mean, I know we're loose, we're on YouTube, we drink Modelo's, we have fun. Where on earth is the champ and the champ? Oh, this cannot be real.
Just relax.
There is no freaking way that they're in the big blue. I did it. I couldn't say blue lance. I knew I was going to say booby lance.
I told him he was going to say booby lance. Are they really arriving in an ambulance?
There's no way.
What is it?
There's no way this is that. I figured they were getting a little extra makeup. I felt like DC was doing some stairs, you know, trying to shed a few pounds.
I feel like this show is already going full WWE, and I love it. I'm not gonna lie.
If Weidman and DC pop out of this blue lance, I'm done. It's over. There's no chance.
I feel like there's a strong chance, Dan.
This can't be real. No way.
Let's relax. Let's go. The party has arrived. The party has arrived as we exit the big blue bullets. Weidman.
It's not real.
Got the Giants jersey. I'm rocking with the Saints gear. Chris, I got to be honest with you, though. You say let's go Giants. Jets just signed Aaron Rodgers. It would be very difficult for me to stay a Giants fan in this atmosphere.
Listen.
So I will give you credit for staying loyal to who you are.
I'm a loyal dude. I'm very close with Graham Gano. My son is best friends with his son, so I'm a loyal dude. They won the Super Bowl in 2008, 2012. I was there.
Yeah, you love them.
I'm a
love the
huge
Giants.
fan. But Aaron Rodgers is on the Jets. J-E-T-S, Jets.
Oh, my God.
J-E-T-S, Jets. J-E-T-S. Oh, my God. Let's go,
that's my guy right there.
Aaron Rodgers, the Jets are finally getting good. I cannot wait to be here. Let's go.
Hey, let me tell you something. This guy, Chris Weidman, is one of the most true sports fans I've ever. Oh, my goodness. Because you have to go where the winning is, and that's exactly what my boy Weidman's doing. Hey, Chris, I hold nothing against you for jumping the bandwagon to the winner. Winners win, man, and that's what you do.
Listen, there's one team I won't ever come off and be loyal with. That's the Islanders.
Yeah,
New York Islanders. I'm stuck with them. It's like glue. We'll never. I hate the Rangers.
Where do they play at? Where do they play at?
Well, they were Nassau Coliseum, but now they're in Belmont.
Okay, yeah.
But I grew up watching. But when it comes to the Giants, Jets, kind of whoever was doing good, I was jumping on the bandwagon. There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I'm a Jets fan a little bit right now too, because actually, no, I'm not. You know, city of New Orleans.
You heard them.
The good guys.
Let's hang out here.
I know, Dan and I are just
Are you guys good?
What's
up?
I mean, we're here for fights.
Hey, welcome to the show, guys.
Nice of you guys to show up.
Hey, championships, MVPs. Aaron Rodgers has 4. The MVP of this weekend, Aljamain Sterling.
Helly, what do you think of the Jets? Are they going to start
Let me tell you something. I'm embarrassed for you, and I'm embarrassed of you. And I'll tell you why. No true sports fan is a fan of two teams in one city. It doesn't happen.
Well,
ever.
I'm a true sport fan, not sports fan, I guess. I'm not just jumping on teams. I appreciate players, and I appreciate geographically where they're located. You know, I'm gonna stick with New Yorkers.
Here's the thing, bro.
And
like,
whoever's doing better, I'm going to jump on the bandwagon.
If you put 2 teams in one stadium, he has the right to choose which one he wants to root for.
Nobody does that
on a certain weekend.
And to be honest, I'm embarrassed for New Yorkers. I'm embarrassed for Long Islanders. I'm embarrassed for all of them right now.
Take your words back right now.
That's true.
One
You're
of
very
us works
close
at
to
the
New York.
NFL Network, and the rest of us do not. I'm going to go with
I'm just saying I'm embarrassed. All right. We got to talk a little about what's happening. I'm embarrassed for you, of them. All right, here we go. Joseph Holmes and Claudio Ribeiro in the curtain jerker. We got a New Jersey native, Phil Haas, looking to get back on track against Dagestan's Ikram Aliskerov, who's making his UFC debut. And then it's the heavyweights Braxton Smith and Parker Porter in the featured early prelim. The prelims at 8 on ESPN with the top 10 women's strawweight matchup. Marina Rodriguez and Vijay John Jadova, and Kennedy and Zechiku looking to make it 3 in a row against Devin Clark. Drew Dober and the local boy, your guy, Matt Frevola, the steamroller, getting ready to go. That could be a fight of the night there. Kron Gracie back after 3.5 years away, facing Charles Air Jourdain in the opener on the main card. And then it's Movsar Evloev trying to keep his perfect record intact against Diego Lopez at women's strawweight, Jessica Andrade, and Yan Jinan. Belal Muhammad and Gilbert Burns in the co-main. Short notice for both men. A potential title shot on the line. And then, of course, Triple C back in a title fight against the champ, Aljamain Sterling. This is going to be fun. And I have heard that Henry Cejudo has already set to weigh in. That's coming up in just about 10 minutes. Right now, let's bring in the voice of the UFC, John Anik. We're talking about a title fight here. Henry Cejudo's been gone for 3 years. John, taking out Aljamain Sterling. Still, this is, I guess the odds have fluctuated slightly, but essentially a pick 'em. This is about as close as it gets.
Oh, so we're talking about fighting and not New York sports today. That is good because relative to how many sports teams they have in this tri-state area, not a lot of championship parades over the last 25 years, but I digress. These two fights at the top of the card, Henry Cejudo, Aljamain Sterling, and Belal Muhammad and Gilbert Burns, could not be any closer from a betting perspective. They have both waffled on DraftKings Sportsbook all week. Henry Cejudo, to your point, is going to be the first fighter to weigh in. Both he and Aljamain Sterling chose to attack the weigh-in this morning. Remains to be seen as to whether or not Aljo is going to weigh in here shortly. Belal Muhammad is already downstairs. Nothing easy for him about the weight cut on the heel end of Ramadan, but all the athletes appear ready to go, and I'm jumping out of my skin with excitement.
Yo, Anik, you are so good with your words that you just insulted all of New York and the tri-state area, but you did it such a kind way.
It was
who do you think you are, bro?
Yeah, because he insulted you too.
You know what?
In the last 25 years,
was the last person who threatened you, but now I cannot wait till I see your ass backstage. You're going down, bro.
Well, thank you, I guess, for the veiled compliment, but you know I got mad love for you, Weidman, but I'm a Boston, Massachusetts kid. I lived in Massachusetts for 31 years. We're in Newark, New Jersey, and I got to deal with all this Giants and Jets bullshit at 9 o'clock in the morning, so I don't know what to tell you.
You guys suck. You guys cheat, and we don't like you guys. Boston's terrible. We hate you. Red Sox, Patriots. Hey, you got Aljo winning since he's from New York. I know you got.
Hey, guys. This is two broadcasters trying to do a talk back on television.
This is the weigh-in show.
Okay, can we do that here? Anik, I apologize, first of all. You are one of the most professional guys in the business. I apologize.
It's quite all right, and I'm not going to make a prediction on the fight, obviously, because I am calling it. But I do believe that there is this underlying underappreciation for Aljamain Sterling that has defined a big part of his UFC career. Pretty crazy, and I know you guys know this, but this is his third championship title defense and his first main event in the UFC. And I think he's handled everything swimmingly all week long. A lot has been asked of this guy, right? From a media standpoint, going back and forth to New York all week long, dropping pucks and throwing out first pitches and everything else. So I do think that energy management is a concern for me on the Sterling side, but I think Aljo's put in the right work, and I don't know that he's ever been more confident as a mixed martial arts athlete than he is here this week.
Anik, I'm glad you talked about energy management because I think that's going to be big in the co-main with Belal and Gilbert. Belal Muhammad, the one who asked for a 5-round co-main event, very rare, as you know. What went into that ask for him?
Well, I thought it was in some part to lay a foundation to make sure that he would be guaranteed a title shot if he beat Gilbert Burns. Because when you do extend the fight to 5 rounds versus 3, it does take on a different tone in terms of the significance. But I think for Belal Muhammad, this was largely rooted in his style, his ability to extend Gilbert Burns into deep waters. Now, certainly I think Belal would have benefited from anything amounting to a training camp. I mean, to dismiss that as a storyline, I think is ignorant. But this was Belal's decision. The promotion was on board, and if we do hit those championship rounds, I guess we'll find out who has the upper hand.
Anik, you're the best. I apologize for the lack of professionalism early on in this interview, but I appreciate you carrying it.
Oh. Thanks, buddy. Sorry for cussing. I'll see you guys soon.
No, you're not.
Nerds.
You're like so disrespectful.
All right, Aljo and Cejudo, we've been waiting for this for a long time. DC, it's Laura's turn to talk. She hasn't said anything this entire show.
It's been a few minutes, but I do have some things to say about this amazing main event because, I mean, listen, Henry Cejudo coming back over 3 years, Aljamain Sterling finally coming into his own as a champion. But this matchup, you guys, I I really feel like this is a chess match. When you really think about the styles and how they're going to collide when we get into the octagon, there's so many things to talk about. On the feet, you've got the range. Is Aljamain Sterling going to be able to stay on the outside and pick Henry Cejudo apart like he's done to other smaller opponents before?
12 fighters, by the way, are set to weigh in. And if we take a look at the numbers here between these two men, it is interesting. You're talking about potential GOAT status in the bantamweight division for the winner of this fight. DC, I know you talked a little bit about that on your podcast this week. And here we have Triple C stepping to the stage right now, back in the UFC octagon for the first time in 3 years. Certainly not lacking confidence here.
135 pounds, the official weight for Henry Cejudo.
One of the best fighters we've ever had in the UFC. Olympic gold champion, a multiple belt holder in the UFC. And what are they doing his weight again? Or
He's
getting the flex down? Man, 3 years off. 3 years off, though. How is that going to affect him?
That is the question. You never would have thought that he would look like this after seeing Henry Cejudo 6 months ago.
Oh,
he was a little bit of a porker.
You did like
he got it done, man. He looks good.
14th ranked UFC lightweight
shape,
contender, Drew Dober.
You know, here's Drew Dober. Yesterday we spoke to Drew Dober about taking the fight and what this one does for him in terms of his career. Drew Dober has his eyes set on the higher ranked guys in the division because he feels like he's more than earned that. He has not gotten that opportunity yet, and he recognizes that in Matt Frivola, he has a guy that's going to bring the fight, that's going to try to take the action to him, and he can produce another one of those big moments that will allow for him to say, hey, how about me versus Michael Chandler? How about me versus someone like Fiziev, a guy no one calls out? If Dober gets it done, he's in line for something very big.
Yeah. Yep, it's right in the middle.
155.5, the official weight for Drew Dober.
155.5 for Drew Dober. He said that he is, I mean, he's got that strong jaw, right? Look at his jaw. I don't know if anyone has a better jawline and smile than Drew Dober.
Buzz Lightyear, right?
I mean, oh my God, he doesn't look like Buzz. He looks like
Great looking guy. Said he was a total nerd in high school, by the way.
Well, ugly duckling, definitely.
So, we're waiting for sound. It's like dead space. You know, we don't like that.
Let's just talk.
All right, here we go.
The Steamroller Frivola. I'm fighting out of Long Island, New York. And hey, Carolina Chris, I hope you're not getting soft down there. You remember your boy from Strong Island? Let's go.
Y'all, I don't remember y'all down there. Down here in South Carolina, we talk like this. Everything gets a little slower. People are nicer. But the Steamroller, of course, I remember you, man. This is a guy who feels disrespected by the UFC. Let's hear his weight. Makes the weight. 2 fights in a row now. They gave him undefeated prospects, thinking that they'd be able to run through Frivola and amp these dudes up, and he knocks them both out. That shocks the world.
He doesn't even look that drawn out. He looked like he got the weight down real good.
And he looked actually like standing next to Dober. I saw them in embedded. Like he looked bigger. He looked taller.
That last knockout was so nasty.
Nasty.
It was so nasty.
And people keep writing him off. It's the same thing with Drew Dober now.
Here is Zhalgas Zhumagulov, an underdog against Rafael Estevam in the early prelims. The 34-year-old from Kazakhstan might be one of the unluckiest fighters in the UFC. 1-5, but he's lost 3 decisions that really could have gone either way. Let's listen to the weight here.
$125.5, the official weight for Zhalgas Zhumagulov.
Right there. He looks drawn out, you know, sucking that weight down.
Usually he looks like that, though.
But it's always like, right, just I think it's a bit of an outlier for Frivola to look that fresh. He did not look run down.
All right, next fighter to the scale, competing live on pay-per-view, former world champion and now the number 4 ranked strawweight in the world, Jessica Andrade.
So when you talk about Jessica Andrade, she's back at 115. Now when you see a fighter go 15, 25, 15, 25. You imagine she's having trouble with the weight.
15 pounds, the official weight for Jessica Andrade.
Andrade weighed 115 pounds, but she is not struggling with the weight. She just wants to fight. She goes, this is my job, how I make my living. So when the fights present themselves, I just take them. But this is her optimal weight class if she wants to make another run at a UFC championship.
Yan Xiaonan, the first Chinese female ever signed to the UFC way back in 2017. Surprised a lot of people, I think, last October when she beat Mackenzie Dern.
The official weight for
115 for Yan Xiaonan. And it wasn't so much how she beat her, but it was the fact that she was able to really handle herself on the ground with Mackenzie, which is crazy to think about. And can you imagine her in a title fight with Zhang Weili, how big that would be for the Chinese market? Oh my gosh.
In the world, the number 5 ranked contender, Marina Rodriguez.
Well, you know, you watch Marina Rodriguez, and she's fun. She's a tremendous striker. But what I love about Rodriguez and her mindset going into this fight is knowing that she just got submitted with the standing.
115, the official weight for Marina
115 for Marina. She got submitted with the standing arm triangle. She recognizes that she has another grappler in front of her. But she appreciates MMA for the fact that you got to continue to evolve to fight every opponent differently. She loves what she's doing in the octagon.
Division and making his debut tomorrow night, Braxton Smith.
Hi, I'm Braxton, the beautiful Monster Smith, training out of San Antonio, Texas at Honda HQ. Hey, DC, from one short heavyweight to another, any advice on me going forward in the UFC?
Who are you talking to?
I don't know what you said.
Was he talking to me?
I think it's you. I think it's
Well, Braxton is another guy that ran a 4.47 40 like you. Wait, what?
Yo, he ran a 4.47.
No, so Braxton, he's 262, ran a 4.4 just like myself. Braxton, so the athleticism's there, my brother. Your ability to knock people out is there, and you're in a great spot. You're in the featured early prelim. Go out there, make a moment for yourself, my guy.
Former semi-pro football player. Here's Belal Muhammad. Saw him in the elevator yesterday, said he's feeling great.
He was a semi-pro football player?
Yeah, he was a running back.
If you're on a 4.7 at that size.
No, I'm sorry, Braxton.
Oh, you were talking about
Braxton.
Braxton.
No, Belal was not.
This is the fight before the fight for Belal, especially coming off Ramadan.
Yeah, but he said that his weight was good. He made a joke to
He looks good.
Brett Okamoto that was over 200. Everybody at ESPN is panicking.
Yeah.
They make me call the guy. He's like, dude, I'm 188 pounds. This was 12 days ago, so his weight was good even earlier.
Well, he said normally he likes to cut the weight the night before. In Abu Dhabi, he waited until the morning of, and he was undecided as what he was going to do here.
I'll tell you something.
170 pounds,
There
the
we go.
official weight for
Championship weight
Belal
below.
Muhammad.
Make sure you remind on that weight cutting thing when we get some more time, because there's a shift happening right now. I want to. Yeah, please remind me, because there's a shift going on in weight cutting that we heard in the fighter meetings consistently over the course of the afternoon. Yeah, which is why Aljo hasn't weighed in yet.
Started his cut this morning for the first
Dude,
time.
it's changing, bro.
Rolando Bedoya, this is his UFC debut. His nickname is The Machine, and for him to be in the tri-state area with that nickname, he's got a lot of living up to do, because Merab Dvalishvili is The Machine.
That's
so
the machine.
I want to see how this guy lives up to it, man. 11 fight win streak.
170. But hey, listen, man. I think we got to start limiting people's ability to just call themselves the machine. When there's a guy like Merab running out there with 50 takedown attempts in one fight, right? Like, remember for a while everybody was the pit bull?
There's certain
How many
names
pit
that should
bulls
just
did
be
we
owned.
have?
That once a fighter of a certain level has it, just give it up.
You got to file a copyright, and it's yours for good.
Yeah.
Here comes Ikram Aliskerov. Look, this guy, outside of the UFC, fought Khamzat Chimaev. And Chimaev still says it's the toughest fight he's ever had. So to watch him with his abilities make his UFC debut, there's a lot of excitement surrounding this kid. He said that he knows, regardless of what's in front of him.
The official weight for Ikram Aliskerov.
Aliskerov weighs in at 186 pounds. He says that regardless of what is in front of him, he knows that he's seen the highest level of competition and believes that with his skill set, he can make his way up the rankings much sooner than you would imagine for a guy making his UFC debut.
Live on pay-per-view in the featherweight division.
What's up, guys? This is Charles Jourdain. I'm fighting tomorrow Kron Gracie at UFC 288. I'm opening the main card. I cannot wait to put my hands on Kron. Then afterwards, I'm in the States, so why not put my hands on some Popeye's chicken? DC said it's good, so I'm gonna try some afterwards.
Yeah, Charles, that's that stuff. And Charles, guess what? They got their hot wings back right now. It's 145. Charles Darjan, the hot wings just got back. So Charles, make sure when you get your order, grab you some of those hot wings. They so spicy, Chris. They good too. I just started talking about them again. For a while, they wouldn't give me no money, so I wouldn't say their name on air. But I'm back now. We back in good graces.
I can see you're starting to sweat talking about food already.
I don't know what that is.
You don't like Bojangles?
I'm not even saying.
Here comes Joseph Holmes, one of the nicest people you've ever met. Has really switched up his training, but I do think he might be struggling with the weight a little bit here. I've actually trained with Joe quite a bit when he was in Kansas City.
Dude.
Let's see. Doesn't have a good look on his face.
No, he does not appear confident.
No.
Can I ask you something though?
Yeah.
Why? He does not look like he's hurting that bad. Chris, do you agree? Does it look like this guy's like really drawn out?
His face doesn't look
His
good.
face doesn't look bad. His body still looks pretty good.
That's why.
189 pounds for
goodness.
Joseph Holmes. That's 3 pounds over the middleweight limit.
Did he go drink before he weighed in? Because he doesn't look that drawn out.
Maybe. Wow. Maybe he was like, 0.4 over, and he was like, you know what, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drink up.
We're hearing that
Next fighter to the stage,
he's done cutting. So
in the featherweight division.
Yeah, that's weird. Whenever a guy doesn't look like he's dying, going to the scale and you stop.
Man, Diego Lopez, what an opportunity for him to be on the pay-per-view. Big opportunity here. Tons of arm bars, huge jiu-jitsu dude. Tons of grappling experience.
he was on season
46 pounds, the official
146. He was on season 5 of Contender Series. Didn't secure a contract when he lost to Joe Anderson Brito by technical decision.
He's got a hell of a skill set, though.
And he's got a tattoo on his chest. Like, if you want to find motivation, just look in the mirror. Dream, believe, and make it happen.
Did he write it backwards so that when he looks in the mirror, it reads correctly?
It almost sounds like a Luke Rockhold quote right there.
I was watching some of those old clips of Bisping calling Rockhold after that press conference.
That's my boy Kennedy in Zetrick. 205 for Kennedy. I was able to watch Kennedy train about 2.5 weeks ago in Texas, and the pace that this guy trains at is crazy for such a big guy. He told me something in the fighter meeting. He goes, I had to learn this because I was the smallest person in my family. Like, if you're the smallest person in your family, I don't know what y'all got going on.
UFC welterweight contender Gilbert Durinho Burns.
Durinho fighting in back-to-back pay-per-views. When's the last time that happened?
Dude's just a fighter, man. He's like, he is willing to step up, but when I compared him to some of the guys that did it prior, he said they weren't fighting the best in the world, and they didn't live the life like I live. He goes, I never eat bad. I never drink. He said, I never do things wrong.
171 pounds,
171.
the official weight for
He goes,
Gilbert
I never do anything wrong, so I don't worry that it'll catch up to me. Because I was like, well, a lot of people will fight, and then they lose because they're run down. He goes, no. He goes, I never stop training, and I never do anything wrong.
But he changed a lot last November that's allowed him to do that this year. Third fight in 5 months.
Claudio Ribeiro.
I mean, he's right away.
He changed.
He changed the way he eats. He changed the way he sleeps. It's like he's wearing the whoop all the time now.
Look how excited Claudio Ribeiro is to be here. He is dancing up to the stage. It took him all of 25 seconds, I think, to secure a UFC contract on last season's Contender Series. It was a heck of a performance. It was literally the first punch that he threw. I don't know, did I call that with you, Dan?
I believe so.
That was crazy.
Me too.
You know, unfortunately, in his UFC debut, he kind of met with a similar fate, but I think it's one of those situations where he had just been knocking guys out left, right, and center, 5 knockouts in a row. So to come into the UFC, kind of get humbled a little bit, you're going to learn from that.
It's the same thing, right? You fall in love with the knockout. So how does Matt Favola make sure he doesn't make a mistake going into his fight? Because he is a guy that's now found the knockout power. How does he get back to doing what he does best?
100%. But Ribeiro, I mean, he's a dangerous guy.
He's dangerous. Everybody's dangerous, man, till you get put to sleep.
All right, next fighter up, competing in a prelim in the UFC's middleweight division, Phil Hawes.
Man, Phil Hawes, junior college national champion from Iowa Central, the same college that John Jones went to. And I remember back in the day,
the official weight for the local Phil Hawes.
I remember back in the day when he was out in Albuquerque training with John Jones, and there was tons of rumors surfacing that he was actually getting the better of John Jones in sparring, and he was kind of known as like one of the top prospects coming up. He's looking to get on a streak now, man. He's a tough dude.
Sometimes he looks like a world beater, and other times he just does not look like the same fighter. It's about consistency for this guy.
Chaos Williams, 29 years old, and man, he is fun to watch, fighting for the first time since that split decision to Randy Brown a year ago. 4-2 in the UFC. Both of those losses have been close decisions. I like watching Chaos, man.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. Tremendous power, always brings it.
Lives up to the name. He doesn't need a nickname.
No.
When your nickname is your first name, it's beautiful. Cool. I mean, you've made it.
169, the official weight for Chaos Williams.
169, makes the weight, but he's in a big spot, right? Big spot, big opportunity to do something special this weekend. Very intense guy. I saw him in the elevator the other day. He's a very, very intense dude.
Strawweight contender, Vina Kakara Janjidoba.
Kakara.
Vina Janjidoba, I gotta tell you something, guys. If you're not following her on Instagram, even though it's all in Portuguese, this woman is hilarious. I had no idea that she had such a sense of humor. We all know that she can grapple like there's no tomorrow. 13 of her 14 finishes.
Pounds, the official weight for
I think 115 on the dot.
What's funny that she does
everything.
Everything. She just makes fun of herself. She put this thing up about how she keeps getting criticized for not being feminine enough, and she put on these like fishnet hose and these high heels, and the camera pans up from her foot, and then she's just like in workout stuff for you.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's great. She's great.
I love it.
That is hilarious.
That's when you can make fun of yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You gotta.
Yeah.
There were a lot of fighters to start, huh?
A lot of fun.
That was a good start.
Yeah, it was a good start. A lot of people.
All right, we have our first guest of the show, and it's a good one. Belal Muhammad joining us now. Biggest fight of your career, Belal, coming up on short notice, right off of Ramadan. So you found out essentially 3 weeks ago that you were going to have this fight. I saw you in the elevator yesterday, and you basically said, you felt so good coming out of Ramadan that wasn't a huge issue. Of course, you're fasting throughout that time, and I'm just wondering if only having 3 weeks to focus on this is almost easier for a guy like you who trains year-round.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, you give me 8 weeks, I'm going to beat John Jones. You give me 3 weeks, I can beat any welterweight in the world.
I love that. Why did you ask for 5 rounds in this fight?
You saw what I weighed in at. I weighed in a championship weight. I'm a championship fighter. I'm here to prove that I'm a champion. All champions do is fight 5 rounds.
Yeah, what's up, Belal? How we doing? It's Wyman. Originally, you weren't going to take this fight, I believe, because Ramadan, it was just too much. It was on such short notice, and you're on this huge win streak where, like, most people feel like you deserve to be fighting for the belt already. What made you change and decide to take this fight?
I was just sitting there thinking to myself, and I'm like, thinking of the stories of guys like you who fought Damian Maia on 1 week notice, and guys like Bisping who won the title on a couple days notice, and like your legendary stories and where you guys went from there. And I was like, this is going to be a part of my story. Like, nothing was ever given to me. I had to take everything I earned, and this is going to be one of those things. Winning tomorrow night is going to give me the title fight.
I love it. And then, like, obviously this is definitely a #1 contender fight for you. It's on short notice. Pressure-wise, because it's such short notice, is there less pressure, do you feel like, on you, or just kind of same as always?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely less pressure because I'm a guy who overworks. I'll sit there 8 weeks, overthink the process, sit there, do double the work that I should be doing. So, like, right now I'm like, dang, it's fight week already? Tomorrow's the fight? Psh, perfect, let's go.
Right? I love that about short notice fights. Like, everyone feels bad for people with short notice fights, but, like, there's a blessing in disguise with that.
Belal, so I can hear in your voice how it's changed because you're cutting the weight. Your breath probably stink real bad right now. But it's like,
How good do you feel knowing you about to get some water in you and everything, knowing that the weight cut is done and all you got to do is get the business?
First of all, I'm looking at you with a belt, and I'm looking at the other guys with disappointment. I'm like, how you guys keep letting DC win?
Yeah, you see it.
Oh, he doesn't win that often, trust me. He does not win that often, Belal. No.
I chose Laura to be on my team.
Him and Laura.
That's what happened.
Hey, him and Laura
Oh my
playing
God.
a game of catch.
Laura can't catch, bro.
Back to the interview. We'll show him the tape.
With Laura, we lost.
Hey, Belal.
No, but this tastes so good. I can't wait after this. Like you said, putting the fuel back in me tomorrow's gonna be so good.
Belal, you know, last week I had to call you because you told someone you weighed 207 pounds, so everybody was worried. So now the question becomes, how much do you weigh going into the octagon tomorrow night? How much do you put on as you go back in there? Because everybody was scared, thought you weighed 210 7 days before the fight.
Nah, for me, I like to go in there light. Like I like to walk around at 185, 186, and that's where I feel my best. And like I said, I'm working with the best in the world. People don't get my sense of humor. So I saw Brett write the article. I'm like, bro, I was just joking around when you called. I'm like, bro, it's all fun and games. And he's like, man, Ian Larry was like, I don't think they get your sense of humor. I was like, oh, all right.
Well, you sound like you're having a good time, man. You sound energetic. You don't seem to be hurting as bad as most when they step off the scale.
Belal,
Yeah, no, as I said, it's always easy for me. I love this game. I love this sport, man. It's all a part of the game. And tomorrow's the night where I get to have my fun. So now it's like nothing else matters.
Belal, you know, a lot of us have been talking this week about the strain that Ramadan puts on your body physically and how hard it is to train, you know, without the calories and stuff. But I thought it was really interesting to hear you talk about how, yeah, maybe it's tough on my body, but it's the clearest that my mind ever will be. And I think I just had never thought about it that way. Explain that for those of us who don't, you know, who don't celebrate Ramadan.
Yeah, honestly, like Ramadan for me is like a detox. Like your whole mind, everything you do negatively in your life, you try to better yourself as a person, religiously bring yourself closer to God. Like stop doing all that extra waste of time stuff you do. And I was doing that the whole month. And I'm like, when they called me for the fight, I'm like, mentally, I feel the best I've ever felt mentally. And then for fighters, it's like I could train 8 weeks. My body would be the best it's ever felt. But if I get in the cage and my mind's not right, I'm still going to lose. So now my mind is where it's supposed to be at. I don't care where my body's at because the mind is 90% of where the fight is.
Dana has said definitively that the winner of this fight will get the next title shot after Leon fights Colby. So knowing what your path looks like if you get past this fight, what's a perfect performance look like on Saturday for you? What's the perfect ending look like?
Honestly, that just hearing the boss say that excites me so much. For me, it's going out there and piggybacking off that finish. I got up Sean Brady. That was the biggest fight of my career. This is the biggest fight of my career tomorrow night. And I'm going to show you guys how great I really am. And you guys are going to be sitting there like, that was him on 3 weeks' notice. What are we going to see from him on a real full 8-week camp? It's going to be unbelievable.
Remember the name, biggest fight of your career. Good luck, brother. I know a lot of people are rooting for you out there. Everybody knows how hard you work.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Belal Muhammad, Gilbert Burns, this is going to be a hell of a fight. So he's coming off Ramadan, right? Short notice, but he's training all the time. You got Gilbert Burns who just fought, right? So, and he said that was for him, it wasn't a real strenuous fight against Jorge. I'm assuming the advantage is for Burns here since he's just coming out of a camp.
I think so. I mean, there can be dings, and you're always going to come out of a fight with some amount of injury, but you can understand how he didn't come out of that fight with anything major. You've just peaked. You keep your eating clean. You keep right on that same path, whereas, you know, Belal has some challenges, and certainly coming off of an entire month where you don't eat from sun up to sundown, and you still train during that. That's incredibly tough on your body, but I thought what he said there was important. You know, the clarity that it brings to your mind and to your mental state is huge.
Well, he also told me in the elevator yesterday that he would eat one meal, right, at night, and he said you're just craving sweets, too. So that's something you don't normally do, but during Ramadan, he had 5 more sweets than he normally would.
Yeah, I mean, for Gilbert Burns, he came out of that fight kind of unscathed, but the question is doing a whole training camp.
Yeah.
When you're in a full training camp, you get beat up. I don't care who you are. Your body's worn down. There's a reason why you need time off in between to get ready for a fight. So for him, I feel like Belal might actually have an advantage because he didn't have that much time. You know, it's been a longer time since his last fight, more time to recover. And like he did say, Ramadan was kind of like a detox for him.
Yeah.
He comes out of it, he feels refreshed.
Do you think it says something about maybe what his view of Belal is to be like, oh yeah, I'll take that fight, no problem? Or are they both just
But
that
I also-
ballsy where they're like, no, we're gonna make this happen. We gotta make a case.
I do think on paper it's a good matchup for Gilbert.
Yeah.
I think he sees that, but I also think it's a great opportunity for him
Sure.
to take a fight on short notice, to save a co-main event, and you know, on a big pay-per-view. It's a good opportunity for him. He was coming off a loss not too long ago. You know, Belal's on the. He could be fighting for the title right now. So for him to be able to skip the line like that and have an opportunity to fight Belal is a huge opportunity for him.
So is it safe to say both of them have the same mindset when it comes to accepting this fight? Because it's a title eliminator, right?
This is the biggest fight for both these guys in their life, and it's in weird situations for both of them. It's a both short notice fight, and it means the most.
Devin Clark stepping to the scale.
Yeah, we've got Devin Clark coming to the scale. 205 for Devin Clark. Last time he fought, Devin Clark's wife promised him a puppy if he won. He won. He got the dog, even though he was a pretty big underdog coming into that fight. So I don't know what the motivation is this time, but he did look really good last time out. He's been working a lot on visualization, he said, coming into this one.
He looked like he was struggling to get on the scale, to be honest. RJ, why are you so close?
He's hovering.
I heard you guys are drinking beers.
Oh yeah, you want one?
I don't have one yet.
All right, some beers, don't we?
Could you get us a beer?
Absolutely.
Why did these guys? I know they came out on the Blue Ambulance
because we tailgated. We tailgated. This
I don't believe that you tailgated this early.
We've been here early.
All right, we are going to play a little game while we're waiting on the beer.
I didn't get my cards. Where's my cards?
I think they're right down here. That's what the manila folder is here for, Chris. This is like your 18th weigh-in show.
You got a master's degree,
Can we get the game together?
Keep it that.
Your son told me that you are one credit
No,
short.
He's got a master's degree.
Your
Relax.
master's degree.
You are not supposed to say that.
He's a mama's boy.
He's a
always trying to throw me on the
CJ
bus.
sold you out.
By the way, that's not unique to CJ. My son does the same thing all the time.
It's embarrassing.
All the time.
I'm trying to sound smart out here, and he's throwing me on the bus.
Listen, being one credit short of a physical education master's
What are we
degree
doing
is
there?
very...
Top 3 most deserving title challengers, right?
Okay, talk to me. Yeah.
Like Belal and Burns both have been wanting a title shot forever. Bilal's been talking about it forever. He hasn't lost in 9 fights, and going all the way back to 2019. So that makes us wonder who are the 3 most deserving guys when it comes to a title shot, RJ?
All right, well, my top 3. Number 3, first off, is Beneil Dariush. The guy can't catch a break. Like, the least lucky guy when it comes to title fights since Tony Ferguson. The guy keeps winning and can't get a fight. Number 2, Belal Muhammad. He's already punched his ticket for his welterweight title fight. He's risking that on Saturday night. And number 1, Merab Dvalishvili. Like, he could arguably be the best bantamweight in the world. Why won't he just fight his teammate? Come on. They're both wrestlers.
I thought I set that fight up already. Didn't you guys remember the last weigh-in show?
Well, obviously not good enough because they're not fighting. Can you get your boys here?
I got some
just
breaking
have them
news
fight.
on Merab.
How great would that fight be?
Merab has an injured hand. He's going to have to get surgery.
Oh, no.
Come on.
Yeah. Breaking news. All right, let's go on with this.
Are you being serious?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean...
The machine needs some oil.
It's broken.
It's breaking news on the weigh-in show.
DW40. DW40.
By the way,
How do you
Talk to me about
How did
it,
it happen?
ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, like what's going on?
Okay, so he actually has to get the same surgery I had.
Reset for us.
Merab, the machine, Dvalishvili.
There we go.
I want to hear you say his last name.
Dvalishvili.
You said it wrong.
No, that's right.
Dvalishvili.
You said it wrong. He is the machine. He deserves to be fighting for the belt, but because Aljo's a champion, that's
not
his
gonna
boy.
fight each
Their
other, they're
teammates, they're not
friends.
going to fight each other.
So wait, did he give you permission to talk about this?
He did. I spoke to him right before this. He was helping Aljo cut weight. I was in there. We were, making
Who'd
sure
have
Aljo
thought
was
Chris
wrapped
would
in
be the
blankets.
most journalism on this show ever?
Ariel Hawani, where you at, bro? Where you
what
at?
happened?
Step up your game. So he has to get the same surgery I had, where he has to get a fusion in his hand. Basically, he was punching hard and punching right on those 2 front knuckles where you're supposed to punch. And there's a joint right there in the middle of your hand that if you keep doing it for too long, the bones start kind of coming up and pushing in that joint, and the bones start fraying. So now they have to eliminate that joint completely and put some type of bone there. I had my hip bone put in there. He's got to get some type of bone, fuse that joint. That joint's not going to be there anymore. I think it's going to be like a 16-week recovery.
So
This guy, are you Adam Scheffler?
Look at your
Are you
breaking
Adam
news.
Scheffler?
16. Yeah, so Merab Dvalishvili is going to have a 16-week recovery until he be back.
You're the guy
I
that
see
all
him
the coaches
fighting at
call,
22 weeks
the
out.
GMs, all the GMs call you now, right?
I have inside info. I have inside info.
Our UFC insider, Chris
This is why I
Weidman.
get paid the big bucks. This is why they bring me on the weigh-in show.
Was he not able to help Aljo train then this camp?
No, he did because he's the machine, but every punch, it hurts him.
Oh.
Wow.
And so, he's not trying to kill Aljo in
This is
in,
very
sparring
worrisome.
and stuff. So anyway,
Let me say this as a fan from the outside. This is a very worrisome fact by Chris Weidman because it essentially tells me that you got the #1 contender in camp, but he's going easy on you.
No.
That's exactly what I was.
He's there for the wrestling. He's there for the wrestling. He
So
can wrestle like
essentially, you're
crazy.
telling me Merab Dvalishvili is not giving Aljo good looks.
I'm saying that this is a great time. This is great timing for Merab to get a surgery and to take care of himself because right now it's a weird spot with Aljo being the champion. It gives us some time, and then when he comes back, he'll be
To
fighting
let
for the
things
belt.
settle if Aljo's good. If
They
he wins,
already guaranteed the winner of this Sean O'Malley anyway, so he's got some time until probably December.
Let me ask you, I normally wouldn't ask you this, but you've had this surgery before. What was the recovery time like for you?
For me, this is back in 2010. It took me over a year. It was right before I fought Uriah Hall.
Wow.
The bastard who broke my leg, but I knocked him out that fight. And I knocked him out with my left hand because I could never throw my right hand for over a year.
Wow.
But now I'm sure technology and everything's better, and it's going to be a smoother
So are
recovery
you
for him.
going to teach Merab how to wipe his ass with his left hand?
Oh,
since
God.
You've got experience?
Bro,
We are on YouTube.
Such good experience.
I got such good
look-
experience. But RJ, that's calling, this show is, a relaxed show, but that's way too much.
And look at this when DC touched his hand. Look at the reaction coming from Weidman.
Well, hey, I don't remember doing that. No, it's because you know you're like saying that Aljo.
Bro, I like when you touch me. It's all right.
No, it feels weird.
You just jerked that arm away, dude.
Dude, come on.
I know. I feel like I'm gonna get paid to do nothing this show.
Laura, can you
What are
go
we
back?
doing right
Can
now?
you go back to
Breaking news: Chris Weidman does it again.
I can,
That was
but
good,
here's the
though. High five.
deal. My list is the exact same as RJ's, so it's
correct
not.
list.
It is a really good list, though. No, I think Merab at #1. Obviously, we just got some breaking news, but he still is
That's so
an incredibly
silly.
deserving challenger. Belal, 9-fight unbeaten streak. What he did to Sean Brady last time out, and Beneil Dariush. 2 fights with Charles Oliveira now canceled. That guy, that poor guy. But yeah, those are the 3 for me.
Good, but not great because I feel like Beneil Dariush is awesome, and I like that he has these opportunities. But the third one is Robert Whitaker, because Robert Whitaker has long proven that he could beat everybody but Izzy. And then for a moment there was a glimpse. There was a little bit of hope when Alex Mejia won the title, right? And then he goes and he loses again. And then Izzy goes, I'm not fighting this dude again. This dude goes up. So once again, we're in a situation where Izzy is ruling the division with no one on the horizon that seems to be able to challenge him.
And he's
Robert
trying.
Whitaker, bro. It's Robert Whitaker.
And he's trying to freaking amp up the fight with him and the dude Trickus Duplessis,
Yes.
which is a way easier fight for him than Whitaker.
Yeah, right.
He's pulling that whole
Poor
African
Robert
thing. All right, I
Whitaker.
got to go into mine. I got Beneil Dariush. Everyone's got him. He definitely deserves it. I got Belal Muhammad. And the one I got on the list, and because I took off Merab, obviously, because I know things. I got breaking news. Sergey Pavlovich.
Good one.
If it wasn't for
Nice.
John Jones jumping up the heavyweight, this guy's fighting for the belts. John Jones is not going to be fighting him, even if Stipe
he
jumps
won't.
out.
He won't fight
it's
that guy.
It's a tough
Hey,
situation
bro,
for him.
how many times do I have to tell you what camera to look at? You've been doing this long enough.
I'm not
now.
gonna lie, I suck at that. I'm sorry, I gotta get better, guys.
Hey, real quick, I know Jones has talked about retirement after Stipe. You don't think there's any way that he were to ever fight Sergey? You don't think
No,
money
he's
would
not
be an
fighting
issue?
Sergey.
You don't-
Here's the problem with the Sergey fight, right? There's 2 things. One, John said that he left because he didn't feel the excitement when it went from myself, Rampage, Vitor, all them dudes, Gustafsson, to Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, Dominic
Nothing
Reyes.
scared him.
He said it didn't scare him. He didn't feel that big fight feel. How do you get him to go, well, Sergey Pavlovich, who is as dangerous as they come, but has no name value.
Nobody knows him yet.
Yeah, so like that guy, he won't fight. I don't think he'll fight him.
So John Jones is afraid of Sergey Pavlovich.
I never said he's afraid. I said it makes no sense.
Hold that thought, guys. We do have Parker Porter stepping to the scale to weigh in here.
Parker Porter.
I'm Parker Porter, fighting out of New Britain, Connecticut. Hey, DC, I know you were gushing over my thighs a couple fights ago. How do you think that's going to help me in my wrestling?
Yeah, he got that strong base. Hey, you got to have big legs, big thighs. Big Parker looked like he lost a little weight, though.
He does.
Weighed in at 249 pounds. Yeah, I don't think he's ever looked this thin on the scale. Yeah,
and I don't think you get a guy more motivated than when you're coming off 2 losses.
Yeah,
when you're coming off 2 losses, you see the best version of a guy because they know their job could be on the line.
If Parker can extend the fight, that's where he shines. He just struggles because he gets knocked out. But when he wins, he takes them long, and he's got good cardio. So even though he might look like he might not be like in the greatest shape, but I thought he looked good there, he can go 15 minutes.
This is the featured early prelim. He's fighting Braxton Smith, who was the former football player we were talking about. Braxton Smith fought Chase Sherman back in 2014 and then took 8 years off.
Yeah.
He's fought 5 times in the last 12 months. All of them first-round knockouts. So this is one you want to keep an eye on with these 2 big boys going at it.
That's a great thing. No, but that's a great thing.
It's all going up here all the time.
But that's a great thing. That's a great thing for Braxton Smith. But that also is a little bit concerning. Because think about this. He fought Chase Sherman and lost.
Right.
Fought 5 times in a year to get here. Nothing has gone long. Parker Porter, if he can survive, can fight 15 minutes.
Braxton hasn't gone longer than 2 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And he finds himself here after 8 years off, after losing a fight, and then winning 5 fights that he won in such tremendous fashion.
Those are some of the funnest fights to watch when you're like, if he could get past the 3 minutes.
Yeah,
that's kind of crazy
for sure.
You know,
For sure.
It's a huge upset. But
because
in
you
that
do
first
know,
3 minutes, it's like,
Because you do know that Braxton Smith's still going to keep throwing hard.
Sure.
It just might not be as effective, and you know Parker will still be in his face.
Well, I want to rewind for a second to the conversation we were having before that last weigh-in. When you're on the cusp of a title, is it better to stay active, or do you hold out for the matchup that you want, somebody that might only be ahead of you in the line?
I think activity is always going to be on your side, especially when you're talking about a promotional machine. I'm not talking about the dings on your body, how hard it is on your body to fight back to back. I'm talking about the momentum that gets you that title shot. This is an entertainment business, and if you're out there, if you've got the fan support building, and you're getting the wins, and you're putting on the performances, that's going to be what's going to propel you into those moments.
I agree. Activity is where it's at. If you could stay active and then fall right into a title fight, that's what you want to do. But the problem is sometimes that doesn't happen. And in this sport, I mean, if you're Belal Muhammad and you're on an 8-fight winning streak or whatever he's on, and now he takes a chance and loses. Listen, even if he's way better than Gilbert Burns, in MMA, man, there's always a chance you lose, and then you lose the opportunity to be fighting for millions. So it's a huge risk to take. So it's way easier said than done when you're stuck in a position like that where there's a chance if you don't take this fight, they're going to just skip over you, and then you got to fight another guy, like Leon Edwards had to deal with for a while.
Which is why it's such a big deal that both of these guys were like, yes, now,
100%.
right now, we're both doing it. Because one of them is it's shoots and ladders. One of them's going back down the slide.
But it's going to be a tough. But it takes away the unknown for the winner, because the winner getting a title shot at some point. After Colby and Leon, he's getting a title shot.
Yeah, but you see, like, that's the thing, right? It's not just the same for everyone. So while activity may be good for some, others should wait, because here's the deal. Gilbert Burns was getting a title fight. Gilbert Burns was already going as a backup fighter to Leon versus Colby. He will still go and weigh in if he wins to be the backup fighter. Colby was the backup fighter. He didn't fight since he beat George a year ago. He's getting the title fight, so it's just case by case. I think Pavlovich should wait. I don't think Sergey should fight anyone else. So it's a case by case basis with these guys. While activity does work, some guys I think should wait for their opportunity.
But Colby already had the fan support.
But Colby didn't have a title shot though. Colby earned his title shot by going to London. Nobody knew he was going, making a weight and being there.
It just came in.
What?
I got breaking news.
Oh, here we go.
Not again.
Esteban and Zukagulov is canceled. Esteban weight issues.
No.
It's off.
I can tell you exactly what Esteban was weighing, because that's my breaking news. You're a liar. I texted it to the producer. He's a liar.
133 pounds?
Yes, I texted it to the producer.
I'm the breaking news guy, bro.
Goodness.
Don't try to steal my
Hey, Wyman. Good job, buddy.
Wow.
Good job.
I texted the producer. Now, what a guy this Wyman.
Can you imagine someone taking someone else's information on the show? How weird that would be? Can you imagine?
Oh, he has more. He has more.
God.
Joseph Holmes will fight despite missing weight.
By 3 pounds,
The fight is still on.
I know. I just sent that to the producer.
Thank you very much.
I just sent it to
Thank
the producer.
you, Chris Schefter.
That Joseph was still going to be in the fight.
You didn't say. I didn't hear you say that.
I sent it.
No, I didn't hear you say it.
I know a lot of people within inside the UFC, and I happen to be in the tri-state area. I have a lot of connections.
Oh my God! I can't believe this is happening.
I would never. Carolina Chris has left the building.
I would never in my life steal anyone's information.
Oh, right.
Oh, really?
Right.
Hey, for the fact, but by the way,
Muhammad Mukaya would beg to differ.
He's drawing the parallel.
I've got this great parallel to tell you guys about between Cejudo's wrestling career and his fighting career.
No. All right, back to the weigh-ins.
Oh, Movsar Evloev. Guys, when you talk about Evloev, you're talking about a guy that's so exciting. And
weight 145 pounds.
145 for Evloev. This guy can wrestle. This guy can compete. You know, he was doing his media day the other day, and when speaking about Yair Rodriguez and Alexander Volkanovski, he was so complimentary of the champion, but said, there's only one guy that can beat this dude, and that's me. But he did say this: I want to get through this weekend, and then in a year, I'll show you. Because while he thinks he has the skill set, he knows it's not right now. He recognizes he still needs a little bit of work, and I believe in that self-realization will allow for him when he's standing across from Volkanovski to truly believe, because he won't fight him until he feels like he's completely ready. He thinks that'll take another 12 months, and then he said he'll show us all why he can beat the champ.
Earlier, you were talking about weight cuts, and we
said
we were going to get into that conversation. Let's do that now, because things have changed, and you've noticed a big change specifically here in New Jersey at 288 in terms of how guys are approaching weight cuts.
Well, I was talking to Kyle Bohalio last weekend before his fight, and I go, Kyle, I said, when do you get the weight off? Because you're a big guy. He goes, I weigh 197, and it was Wednesday night, right, late. So he goes, I won't start my weight cut until Friday morning. He goes, I'll go to bed at like 6:30, 7 p.m., get up at 3 a.m. and start to pull 11 pounds off. Then I asked Aljo the same thing yesterday. Aljo goes, I'm not starting until 6 a.m. I want to be able to sleep. Henry Cejudo goes, my weight cut will start at 6 a.m. on Friday, because then I will do whatever I have to do to make the weight, and I will only suffer for an hour. Right? He goes, I do not want to try to sleep overnight. It's amazing how many athletes now, we got it from 4 people just this week, that they're not cutting weight on Thursday night anymore and then getting no sleep. They're all waking up in the middle of the night and then sucking all that weight off on Friday morning to limit the amount of time that you're dealing with the dehydration. That's risky, because Aljamain still hasn't stepped on the scale.
I think it's because the PI, and because more people are working with really educated nutritionists. I know Trey Ogden did the same thing when he fought a few months ago, and he cut like 18 pounds, or not 18 over the week, but 15 pounds that morning.
Wow.
And it's because you can't sleep. You can't
don't sleep at all.
And when you don't sleep, your cortisol levels go up, and then it becomes even harder to cut the last couple pounds in the morning. But if you do it all at once, you're super hydrated, you're water loaded, and if you prepare for it right, I mean, as you say, you don't have to sit dehydrated as long.
That was always the thing, though. Like, you want to get as much off right before the weigh-ins. You want to be dehydrated for as least amount of time as possible.
Come on, Chris, that's
but
not
when
true.
That's what we were always told. But
we were always cutting the weight on Thursday night, Chris.
I would cut half of it Thursday night, half of it Friday morning.
That's what
Aljo's
true, Chris, because
doing.
I've fought with you and seen you in the hot tub at night after cutting weight, and I'm going, Chris, how much more? You're like, a pound. You would get as close as you could on Thursday night.
Sometimes,
stop lying to these people, man.
No. If I could get half off in the morning, I will do it. If I could get it all off, I'm doing it. I wake up at time. This is my issue with what they're doing, and it's very. First of all, the nutritionists are telling this from the UFC PI. It's a dangerous game to play.
Yeah.
If you're waiting till the morning to start cutting weight, there's a lot of times you're down to like a pound or two, and it's just you stop sweating. If that happens the night before, you can kind of like figure it out. You have more time to play with. But right now, like starting your weight cut, like I was with Aljo. Actually, was in the sauna blanket getting ready this morning. He's got his little Jolly Ranchers in his mouth, and he was cutting all 8 pounds this morning. And I'm like, man, it is a big risk when you do that.
Yeah.
And you mess up your circadian rhythm. That's the sleep cycle. All of a sudden, you're used to going to sleep at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock,
11, yeah.
and now you're and waking up at like 10 o'clock in the morning.
But then
now
how much different? That's the thing. How much different is it when you're used to going to sleep at 10, waking up at 6 or 7? You go to sleep at 10 and you wake up at 1 o'clock.
There's times I don't sleep, but there are times I've slept all right.
I'd never sleep okay. Melatonin, regardless of what you gave me to try to help me sleep, I would wake up at 3 a.m. and you toss and you turn and you toss and you turn. That's not true.
It's USADA
You toss and you turn and you toss and you turn, and then next thing you know, the sun's coming up and you still got 2 to 3 pounds to lose, and you're like, damn it.
But the best thing though is waking up and getting on the scale and knowing that you floated.
But the problem is that you hardly ever float.
You guys probably floated like 4.
Bro, I barely ever floated any weight.
You didn't?
I remember fighting in Boston and waking up at 5:30 in the morning. I was still 4.5 over, and I didn't come to weigh-ins till 10:45 because those last 4.5 pounds took me 4 hours to get off. But it was crazy because I had sucked down so much.
That's when you cheated with the towel. That
was
against Oezdemir?
That was against Oezdemir. But it was like you cut as much as you can, and then you go to bed and you don't sleep. But here's the problem. These guys now are doing it in a way where in reality, you get to rest. You're feeling at 8 pounds over. 213 for me when I was fighting 205 was actually pretty comfortable. You could get some decent rest. 207, you're so not used to being at that weight that your body's like, get up, dude, what are you doing? Go feed yourself. Drink something.
How much did you weigh? Was that the Stipe Francis card?
It was, oh my God, you're smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. You know the date too? January
18th, wasn't it?
Yeah, 18th or 20th.
Yeah, 18th.
But,
you are good with dates.
January
20th. Yeah,
so
I was too.
You mean fight week, like coming in on fight week?
Yeah, you were always big, man.
No, every
He's
time.
still big.
My weight on Sundays was, if I woke up at 225 on Sunday morning, before my run and everything, I'm like, I'm good. Every time I checked in, I'd be about 218 pounds. So only about 13 because I was so afraid of missing the weight. But it's like these guys now, they're getting up and they're losing all this weight, and it's working because, as Henry Cejudo said, I'm only going to do this for a few hours. Cejudo now has struggled for 3 hours only. 3 hours only, and now he's back to recovery.
And I wonder if you put more weight on doing it this way. Maybe because you're drawn out for less time, you get a higher weight by the time you fight.
I just feel the only way you can do this is if you shrunk your body to a point that naturally you're only about 9 to 10 over. Because think about it, if you can get bigger.
If you're doing 15 pounds.
Yeah, that's great. Trey Ogden was tripping.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So Henry Cejudo has weighed in. We are still waiting for Aljo to weigh in, cutting all of the weight this morning. Weidman was in the room with him. Looks good. We will find out very shortly if he makes weight, but this is a huge fight for both of these men. Henry Cejudo coming back to the UFC after a 3-year layoff. Aljamain Sterling trying to defend the bantamweight title for a 3rd time.
When it comes to combat sports, I'm #1. Whether you think I'm corny, cringy, you won't find a better competitor than me.
He is truly a once-in-a-lifetime type of athlete.
Me coming back after a 3-year layoff, I get a chance to put myself on Mount Rushmore. This is nothing but me making history.
The return of one of the greatest combat sports athletes of all time. Olympic gold champion, 2-division MMA champion.
The guy just wins. Beat the great Demetrius Johnson, knocked out TJ Dillashaw clean.
When it comes to competitors, you don't get more competitive than that man, Henry Cejudo.
When Henry retired, I thought it was a fake retirement. I knew at some point he would have to come back. You quit when the competition started to get tough. Henry's good, but we are not the same.
Yeah, look, boy, this is my season. Aljamain Sterling, in his absence, has become an absolute force.
I know who I am and what I'm capable of.
Anaconda, human backpack, I take you down, it's a rap.
He's tied for the most bantamweight wins in UFC history.
That'll do it, and still best in the world at 135. The belt remains on Long Island.
When I see a guy like Aljamain Sterling, I'm just like, let's go! That's easy money. You may have the UFC belt, but that doesn't mean you're the best in the world. The best in the world is right here.
I can't wait to this up, because he talks so much from the sidelines like a little. Now that he signed the dotted line, he's got to answer for his words, and his mouth wrote a check that his ass can't cash. Out of everyone in this division, I am the toughest fight for him.
Aljamain Sterling is going off.
What now, baby? Talk now.
I can say whatever the hell I want. I'm the real king. It is personal, and I do want to hurt him.
He can't even defend himself. This fight is about to get stopped.
You're next, Aljamain. You're next! I will bring war to you, and I'm going to take your out in the East Coast in front of all your people.
We're in our backyard. We got to make sure we give the fans a show and get the win.
Oh my goodness, talk about a statement by Aljamain Sterling.
I'm willing to do whatever it takes to win. Aljamain, there's only one king, and he's right here.
Henry Cejudo, your time is coming. You picked the wrong one, my guy.
Well, you guys know this, obviously, but Henry Cejudo, one of 4 double champions in UFC history, which makes us think about who could be the next one in terms of champ status. We have one of them sitting here on stage with us, Daniel Cormier.
In the presence of great, take that, don't point at that one, no.
He's definitely special, man.
You're true. I'm already triple C because
you're triple
champ,
C, DC?
champ. I'm already triple C.
By the way, who helped you win that, by the way?
You did, my guy.
You give me no credit.
You did. You did.
You threw me under the bus on the broadcast, by the way.
That was bad, Laura.
So bad.
It came off so bad, I was like, oh my God. I was saying it. I was like too far to pull it back. So then I said it all fast.
I was watching it home and I was like, he did not just do that.
I don't even remember. What did you say?
Yeah, it was on Saturday.
It was on Saturday. I was talking about we were throwing eggs, and I go, I knew we were going to win because Laura Sanko can do nothing. And then I was like, shit, I got to say it. And then I said stick and balls, but then because I said stick so fast, it sounded like dick.
It sounded like you said, Laura Sanko can do nothing good with dick and balls. That's what it sounded like. That's what it sounded like at home.
But I was so far, bro, I was so far down the path, I was like, oh my God, I gotta finish
him.
this
I was like, did you seriously just do that?
It was bad, bro.
Stick.
I said stick too fast.
Stick.
Because I was trying to just get through it, and then it came off really bad. So then my Twitter blows up, and I was like, oh
were
my
the
God.
producers laughing in your ear?
Nobody said nothing, so I figured I wasn't getting fired.
They were in shock.
There's no question about who the athletes and the academic is on this show, but that's okay. I have my lane. I have my lane.
I got my master's degree.
I have my lane.
Coming at me with academics?
Apparently you don't.
Credit shy.
Thank you, really? CJ. You jump on that too? You jump on that? I got my master's degree.
All right, man, double champs.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Sanko, let's start with you.
For me, it's got to be Islam Makhachev. I mean, I think he is the most capable of going up to 170. You look at the top of that division, I see him matching up really, really well with all top 5 at 170.
Yeah, I like that. I like that, and that's what I wanted to say, but I feel like sometimes I say Islam for everything, and I don't want to be a homer. I would never be a homer. For me, I'm going Israel Adesanya. I think that Adesanya matches up well with the new champ Jamal Hill. I think Adesanya matches up well against Yuri Prochazka, who may be fighting for the belt next. Long as it's not a big wrestler, I think Adesanya will be okay at 205 if he ever chooses to try it once again to become a double champion. So I'm going Izzy.
Yeah, you go Izzy. I'm going to side with Sanko. I'm going to Islam as well. I think he's going to fight Beneil Dariush and then go up to welterweight and go after that title there. He's just, as you know, he's so good. And I get why you don't want to say him because you do say him for a lot of stuff. So I'm going to say him.
My man.
I'm going
Don't
with
be a homer.
The guy who's being disrespected right now. He's the main event. He's probably one of the most underrated champions we have right now. Aljamain Sterling. Every time I say his name, I want to say Al-Jizlame. I don't know. Henry Cejudo's got me. This is my boy, man. He's got me saying it.
What? He goes, Aljamain, Lane, Slain, Denzel.
Denzel.
The Denzel thing is great.
The best thing was when you...
And Aljo probably loves that comparison. He loves getting called. He doesn't even care. He loves it. He loves that, the acting thing. But anyway, I think he has a good opportunity to become a double champ. Is it going to be easy? No.
Bro,
but he gets it done.
Volkanovski's so good.
Volkanovski is so good. But Aljamain, if he gets him down, if he could get a takedown on him, his jiu-jitsu is a freaking problem.
Can I say something about this though real quick before we move forward? I don't know if I feel more secure in any champion retaining their belt than Alexander Volkanovski right now.
100%.
I just feel like he's so good. I don't know. I mean, and Yair is really good. But it's like the way he fights, I mean, how could you pick anybody to ever beat this guy right now?
Is it easier in this era to be a double champ than it was a few years ago?
I just think that nobody would try it.
Yeah, no one was doing it.
Everybody was
wasn't even a
afraid.
thing.
Everybody was just kind of like in their own weight classes, and it wasn't a thing. And
Like Anderson Silva was kind of like the front. He was the guy.
He
with
probably
the
could have.
trailblazer.
Anderson could have.
But he was all about how many titles you could win. How many times can you defend the belt? That was the goal. How many times can you defend your belt in your weight category? It wasn't about going
Double
different
champ
weights
stuff.
and double champ stuff. Yeah.
Anderson should have did it when Shogun or one of those guys was the champion. Then once Jones got the belt, he would never have beaten Jones.
Yeah.
But he had an opportunity when those guys were the champions to probably be double champ. But Conor changed it.
Was the UFC,
Once Conor did it, it was like,
the
hey
UFC
man.
less willing to allow guys to fight in different weight
It just
classes
wasn't
before?
a thing.
I know it wasn't a thing, but why?
Probably.
Why wasn't it a
Probably
thing?
because it kind of ruins the whole division. Like
No, it doesn't,
It
though.
stalls the whole division.
Does it really?
You have contenders that don't
No,
get.
it
used to
doesn't.
be more about the rankings, right? Than the popularity. You work your way up the rankings. The next guy who's ranked number one, he's going to be fighting for the belt. It's a lot different now.
I just think that when you have guys that go up to double champ, generally you just get rid of one. It's not like anybody holds on to both. You think Volkanovski may have. He might have bounced between 55 and 45.
He could have.
But the moment I won mine, I was like, hey, I don't have to cut the weight no more. Take 205. Right? Yeah. Henry Cejudo was like, well, I don't have to go back down to flyweight. I'm out. It's like normally you just Conor McGregor. When he won 155, take 45.
The only
it's
one
like
doing it was Amanda, and
the only one that's
145
doing is
isn't
Amanda,
really.
and 45 doesn't have a weight class. So it's like normally when you win the bigger belt, you're like, I don't have to cut the weight no more. Take the smaller one.
Is there a financial incentive? Because once you've done it, you've done it. You're in that elite class, but is there a financial incentive to keep it going?
Well,
no, you don't need to anymore.
But that's my point. So once you're there, you've already reached that next level, right? So you don't have to keep doing it for 2-3 years.
But you can. It's cool, right? You want to defend them both. Once you defend them both, then everything changes.
Then you're good.
It's over. Because the visuals, right? They just have you with the two belts, always. And when you're getting ready to build a fight, they have you with the two belts. It's like, it's crazy. Dude, when I won against Derek Lewis in New York City, Dana gave me two belts again. I didn't even defend the light heavyweight championship. I was like, yes, another one. It's like the visual. It's the best. It's the best.
You haven't even had any of your Modelo. I'm a little disappointed.
I have to work again this afternoon, man. I'm in the big city.
He's a professional, man.
I'm really working.
When did that start?
Do you feel like
I know, right, Laura? Like, when did that start?
When did that begin?
You gotta see his
I was
notes.
not aware for that memo.
Weidman, do you feel like it devalues belts a little bit when guys are jumping around from weight class to weight class? I mean, there's only 4 now, but 5 years from now, there could be 8 double champs.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that being, a little bit of an issue because there's less guys as champions. Less guys having opportunities to fight for the belts and kind of making names for themselves. What?
Or girls. I don't know how none of us shows like maybe Zhang Wei Li as the person that could be double champion because she seems to be able to compete at 125 easily.
Her versus Alexa Grasso. I mean, I would give her a great chance against Alexa.
Yeah, I know. I think she would do well against Alexa Grasso.
I think people always just saw Valentina as completely unstoppable, so they didn't see 15ers going up.
Do you think, though,
and
Laura,
same thing with Amanda.
That question he was asking about devaluing the belts, do you think it devalues the belt?
I don't, because I think that it more so allows people who are truly extraordinary to set themselves apart, and that's what I like about it. I get how back in the day it was all about like the number of defenses that you can rack up. Anderson Silva's record, absolutely incredible. Demetrius Johnson, absolutely incredible. But if you're not a guy, so if you reach championship status a little bit later in your career and you don't have another 5 years to sit there and bang out, 8 defenses, how cool is it to be able to look at another division and achieve greatness that way? I just think it's a new way to define people who are another level above the rest of the pack.
But it's also, it devalues the weight class that they're in. It says, okay, I'm already better than all these guys. Let's make this super fight that 2 huge names are going to, get into a fight.
Why not? If they can, but that's what I'm saying. Like, why not? If you can go up and do it, let them.
I know, but it happens so fast. You win the belt, boom. Let's look around.
No, a lot of times it comes after you've already. There's like nothing clearly on the horizon. I didn't get that offer until I had beat Volkan, and it was like, dude, you just fought Volkan Ozdemir. Yeah. Because he had only won 3 fights. It's like, so what do we do now with you? Like, we can't run you back with Rumble. Jones is not eligible to fight. Do we run you back with Gustafsson? I'd already fought all those guys. So it was like, you want to go to heavyweight and fight Stipe? Yes.
Cejudo. Cejudo had won the belt at 25. He had defended the belt against T.J. Dillashaw when he came down. He goes up 35. Or he had won, I don't know how he won it, but it was always when there's not something clear on the horizon, they give you the option and you take it. But it's a way to separate extraordinary from a group of extraordinary people. And I'm telling you right now, after John Jones has won that second belt and he is the heavyweight champion of the world, he feels a difference. Even though he was John Jones before with 14 title fights, he feels a difference right now today as the heavyweight champion, as a guy that's held the belt in 2 weight classes.
It's the elite of the elite. Deion Sanders has talked about this before. In the Pro Football Hall of Fame, he thinks they should have a separate wing for first ballot Hall of Famers. That's like first ballot right there. It's the elite of the elite. But things have changed, right? In the UFC, we don't have as many dominant champions. Look at the title defenses now, right? You don't have these dominant champions. You have Aljamain who's trying to defend the title for just the 3rd time. Volk is a unicorn in terms of the number of times he's defended the title.
Or is he?
Do you think we're gonna go back to that era of having dominant champions? Because Aljo's 3 title defenses is second most in the UFC right now.
That's crazy.
And it's the number. I think it's the most
in bantamweight history if he wins.
It would be for the history of that division.
It's like heavyweight.
He jumped in, trying to fast forward my words.
I think it depends. It depends quite a bit on the division. Obviously, the record at middleweight, I mean, that's really, really hard for anybody. I mean, Izzy is getting close, but it won't be consecutive for him. I don't know. I just what I was going to say earlier about what you were talking about. Like, I think that when you don't. So Conor McGregor, he went up right away. He didn't defend the featherweight belt. And different. Henry, you got to say, although he won and he beat Demetrius Johnson, which was insane, and it was an amazing moment, he didn't stay at flyweight and defend that very long. And he defended it against a bantamweight coming down to flyweight. So I do think I like it more when you've just run the division clean. And it's like I've run out of options. Alexander Volkanovski going up and getting a lightweight title, amazing.
No problem with that.
But setting yourself apart is what all of you guys want to do. It's why Henry's back, right? He doesn't just want this belt. He has his eyes already on featherweight because no one has done that. And I don't know if anybody's going to be able to do that anytime in the future. And to be the first, you're always the first.
And that's the beauty in Conor, and that's the beauty in Conor McGregor, right? Like, nobody even thought to do this before. That's the thing in Conor McGregor. Someone that comes into the game that is thinking on a different level. So you could love him or you could hate him. But he was the one that opened up that avenue to even pursue these things and made it possible.
Why did it happen after BJ Penn? Because BJ Penn did it first, and then it just never happened again.
And I don't even think simultaneous it don't have to be simultaneous. If you won 2 belts in 2 weight classes, that's as good as anything ever. Like, so Jones having 2, doesn't matter that he didn't do it at the same time. George St. Pierre, doesn't matter that it wasn't simultaneous. I don't think that matters as much. Randy Couture, going all the way back. That means something.
Right, real fast. Let's just say Henry Cejudo wins this fight, and you got a guy like Merab. Let's say he's healthy. He's got all these He's got all these wins in a row. You have no problem with him just going up and waiting.
Well, he's fighting Sean O'Malley. He's fighting Sean O'Malley first.
And now Merab he has no chance of fighting Merab. He's gone. He's going to do it.
I think that the approach, while I love it, I love teammates, I love loyalty. I think that while that approach is honorable, there is going to be some kickback from it. You're going to get punished in some way, because if you and I know anything, they would like those 2 guys to fight because he has earned a title fight. So when you stand that firm on your stance, sometimes you will get some bad in regards to it, and that's what's going to happen to Dvalishvili.
Well, Merab's not going to be fighting anytime soon. If you're just tuning in, Chris Schefter broke the story earlier that Merab has a broken hand and he's going to be out for several months and not going to be stepping in.
Dan Hellie, let's just say this. We've had some really good conversations this morning. Let's get back to being silly, and because this has been a little bit too smart of a show. We want to get back to the fun.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
I want a little rankings game
we
here.
We both didn't clear the Division I clearinghouse. We both think junior college.
We both ended up in junior college.
Jeez.
All 3 of us.
Both you guys very
same conversations, you guys.
Yeah. All 3 of you guys, very good wrestlers at one point in your life.
Okay, stop. Don't do that.
We're 3 All-Americans.
Don't do that.
All 3 of us.
Don't put RJ in the same category as me, Chris.
All-American wrestlers.
Do not put RJ in the same category as me, Chris.
I am the All-American, though.
I am All-American. Just like you guys. Just like you guys.
The Olympian.
What'd you place?
Me?
The first time when you were in D1. First year. What happened to you the first year, junior year?
I didn't place.
So you're a one-time
All-American.
Oh, you're one-time All-American. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm a two-time divisional All-American.
Oh, but I did.
Oh, shit. I am the All-American.
I did.
I have as many All-Americans as you, DC. We're like the same.
I did make 2 Olympic teams.
All right. Well, you know what? You know what Henry Cejudo did? He did something you didn't do. He won a gold medal in the Olympics. One of the more credentialed wrestlers to ever come into the UFC. So that begs the question: who are the most credentialed wrestlers to ever enter the UFC? And I'm not talking best wrestlers once they got into the UFC. The most credentialed upon entering the promotion.
All right, now that these two are done with their appendage measuring contest over here.
Let's not talk about the Olympics. Who cares about that anyway?
At number 5, I'll start at the bottom. At number 5, I have Sarah McMahon, silver medalist, Wrestling Hall of Fame. So I'll just address my entire list. You had to have an Olympic medal to make my list.
Okay.
I've got Mark Schultz at the top. I mean, absolutely one of the most legendary wrestlers of all time. It would take me 5 minutes to list everything that he's accomplished. I actually printed out some of their Wikipedia pages, but it would take me way too long to read all of this. So if you don't know who Mark Schultz is, please just go read him up on him. Kevin Jackson, I actually had forgotten about Kevin Jackson. To be honest with you, I really had to research this one because I don't know wrestling like you guys do, but Kevin Jackson, another gold medalist in the Olympics as well as a bunch of world championships. I put Henry Cejudo at 3 because I was, I guess not surprised, but there are not that many gold medalist wrestlers that have fought in the UFC. So I've got Cejudo at 3, Yoel Romero 4, and Sarah McMahon at 5. So I think it's a respectable list.
By the way, Mark Schultz's Fight Lore episode on Fight Pass just got nominated for a sports Emmy.
I'll have to go watch that.
Yeah, so you got to check that out.
Didn't he fight on like 1 day's notice or something crazy?
Less than 2 weeks. I don't know exactly how many days, but I know.
And his brother Dave and their story is
amazing.
Crazy. All right, here we go. Here's a good list. Where is it? Put it up.
Wyman, look at the camera.
No, my list. I want to see it on the TV. Okay.
There.
All right, there we are. Okay. All right, first on the list, we got Yoel Romero. Obviously, I know him pretty well. This guy was such a beast in wrestling. He beat my childhood idol, Cael Sanderson. Cael Sanderson beat my man over here at DC in college, as he took second place. I mean, but he was a world champion, 5-time medalist as the world championships, an Olympic silver medalist, and a 5-time Pan Am gold medalist. Then we got Cejudo, he's a 4-time Arizona state champion. He went straight from high school right to the Olympic scene. He was a Fargo champ. Youngest American wrestler to ever win an Olympic gold medal at 21. It's now been broken by Kyle Snyder, but obviously a beast in wrestling. Kevin Jackson, 2-time world champion, 1-time Olympic champ, 4-time All-American, and then we got my man Cormier over here. He's a 2-time JUCO champ. People don't like to throw that on the accolades. It's embarrassing that you went to junior college. I feel at the end of the day.
Junior college All-American is a very prestigious.
I agree. I have no problem with that. And that's why I want to put on the list. It's important to me that out of high school, this kid came from Louisiana to junior college, where most people who go to junior college, they end up falling back into the same issues that got them there, hanging out with the kids,
the bad crowd.
That bad crowd, right? But he decided to be different and move past that crowd and become something special. Became a 2-time JUCO national champion. I love when I'm talking to the camera. 2-time JUCO national champion. A 1-time All-American at Oklahoma State. He became where were you at? We are a 6-time world or Olympic team member. This guy dominated the U.S. Olympic scene for 6 years. Nobody could touch him.
He owned that weight class.
A Pan American gold medalist and a world bronze medalist.
That's enough.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, Askren, I'm throwing in there. On the Olympics team, he was just an Olympian, but because of what he did in college, I threw him in there. He was a 4-time finalist and a 2-time national champion, Olympic team member, Pan American gold medalist. And he changed the sport. He created the funk.
He did the funk.
I wanted to put Ben on my list, but this is the issue I ran into, and I actually need your guys' opinion on this. How do you compare American folk style accolades with world stage freestyle accolades? Because Americans, I would think, would be at a disadvantage growing up doing freestyle.
Well, the only
you
thing
dominate the U.S. and then you have a hard time in the Olympics because it's a different system.
Yeah, we're the only country that does folk style.
And we're still one of the best.
And we're still good now. Yeah. But the reality is, like, we take a break during the college years, we're wrestling folk style, and the Russians are still wrestling freestyle. That's why it takes us time to kind of build back when we get back to the international scene. All right, here's my list. This is the right list because I'm the guy that's tied in. Number 1, Kevin Jackson, world and Olympic champion. It doesn't get no better than what Kevin Jackson did. Kenny Monday,
world and Olympic champion. It doesn't get any better than what he did. Henry Cejudo, Olympic champion. It gets no better than that. Yoel Romero, Olympic silver medalist and 6-time world medalist. It's crazy what this guy did. And on the very bottom, your boy DC, because as Chris said, 2 Olympic teams, a 4th in the Olympics, a world medal, 6 U.S. national championships. This is the right list, guys.
What about Mark Schultz, though?
Mark Schultz, I get it. I didn't put Mark Schultz, but even Mark Schultz's accolades in comparison to almost all these guys but me does kind of pale. Mark Schultz won the Olympics also in 1984, which is there were no Russians in 1984
but then he won the world title right after.
But he did. But okay, so what's wrong with these guys? Kevin Jackson, world and Olympic. Kenny Monday, world and Olympic. So it's like you can't put him over those guys when those guys did that, but also beat the Russians. And I love Mark.
Kenny Monday never wrestled in the UFC or fought in the UFC.
Yeah, he did. Kenny fought.
No, he didn't.
Kenny
He fought, but not in the UFC.
Kenny fought in the tournament. Get it right, guys. Kenny fought in the tournament.
Did he? I thought Kevin Jackson.
Kevin did, and Kenny fought in the tournament.
Kevin Jackson was 2-2.
Was there an internal struggle?
Kenny Monday did not fight in the UFC
He
ever.
didn't fight in the UFC.
No, I've just found out.
Okay, this is crazy. Go ahead, RJ.
I had him on my list. I took him off.
Great wrestler.
Sarah McMahon, a little love for the ladies, right? Silver medalist, 4-time world medalist, right? Number 4, Henry Cejudo, Olympic gold. His whole career was like 2.5 years. Like his entire world career, he still got a gold medal. That's the only thing that kind of holds him back is his career
was short.
so short, right? He won the gold medal and then kind of just disappeared. I went Yoel Romero 3 over Cejudo, 1-time world champ, 5-time world medalist. If it weren't for Satiev, he'd be like a 4-time world champ.
No, if it wasn't for buying him off. If it wasn't for buying him off, he would have won the Worlds and the Olympics every year.
Really?
Yeah, dude, he was the best.
So
they would just pay him
bought
off.
him off so Kale could beat him?
Man, don't talk about that.
All right. Number 2, Kevin Jackson, 3-time world champ. I put Mark Schultz 1 over Kevin. They were both 3-time world champs, but Mark Schultz was a 3-time national champ.
I understand,
so
but still.
that was the tiebreaker. Cohen should be the tiebreaker.
You and I had basically the same list.
Exact same list.
RJ, I don't think. Love Mark, but I don't think Mark goes over Kevin Jackson in any facet of wrestling.
Really?
Where's Matt
Whoa. Breaking news from Chris Weidman. Aljamain Sterling has just left his hotel room. He is on weight, and he is heading his way to the weigh-in scale right now, ladies and gentlemen. For all you people who were saying he wasn't going to make weight, he's coming and doing it right now.
Where are you getting these sources?
Hey, does this qualify as breaking news?
No. Of course he's going to the weigh-ins. That's what we
He
would
just
expect.
left his hotel room. Did you know that?
I think that's new news.
I'm gonna what did I say?
A little late.
I knew it like 15 minutes ago.
Hey, but look at how he's walking, though. That's the guy that's cutting some weight. When they start walking slow like that.
But he's doing it in such a short time frame, as we talked about earlier.
Can I tell you guys how smart he is? He's doing this on purpose, just to mess with Cejudo. He's like, oh my God, he's cutting so much weight. He only had 8 pounds to cut. Look, he's smiling.
He's going towards the opposite way.
134 pounds, the official weight for Aljamain Sterling.
Just to stick it in Henry Cejudo's face.
Easy.
Yo, Cejudo's been talking about how big Aljo is this whole week. I think it's in his head a little bit.
Henry Cejudo is mad at some of the things that have happened between him and Aljo. Guys, listen, I'm telling you, I sat with him. They all stayed to watch.
UFC 288
they
main
all stayed
event.
to watch him get on the scale.
Oh, wow.
They stayed to watch him.
It's like boxing.
It's like boxing, right? Like boxing, they watch you wrap your hands. They watch you step on the scale. They watch everything. But I spoke to Henry Cejudo the other day on my YouTube channel, and this guy was mad. He's mad about the interactions between him and Aljo lately because there are mind games. And he hated that when Aljo walked up to him in the lobby of the hotel.
When he first got here, you're talking about? That was on episode 1 of it.
He hated it.
That was
Why did
so
he hate
awkward.
It? He hated it.
That's something he would have done.
Cejudo did not look comfortable.
He did not.
And that's why he goes, the first time when they spoke at my house, we were at Henry's house, Henry talked at Aljo, and Aljo kind of just accepted everything. Like, he was almost intimidated by him.
Henry does
Second
that.
time, yes, he does. He's like a coach that talks down to you. Then the second time they came on the show and they were arguing, but Aljo was very vocal. And he was kind of taking it to Henry. And Henry was like, I didn't like that interaction. And then this last one, Sunday, he goes, man, I didn't like that I was too nice to him.
Well, he wasn't prepared, and Aljo was the alpha in that moment.
That is exactly what it is.
That's what Cejudo didn't love.
It bothers you, bro, because you're trying to win everything. In these fights, you want to win the face-off.
You want to win the media. You want to win everything in regards to your opponent. And he feels like on Sunday, Aljamain one-upped him. He hates it.
He got him, bro.
He did. That handshake was way too long,
guy.
and it was like he couldn't. It was like Henry couldn't figure out which direction is this conversation about to go. Are we being respectful? Are we about to talk some crap here? Like you could see it, and he just kept saying, "I'm ready."
Fighters are so different.
They're both like so cringy. They both do the cringe thing,
awkward.
so they don't know like.
Bro, fighters are so different. Fighters are so different at the highest level. Like. The way you think and process shit is crazy. Like I'm literally looking at the guy that I'm fighting, and every time I see him, I want to make sure that I always put myself above him. There was a time when Volkan and I were fighting, and he walked past me to end the media day, and as he was going out the room, I start chirping at him. And then he's like going to leave, and I go, walk away. And he's like, don't say that. Don't tell me to walk away, right? Because I'm just like, get your ass out of here. Because you want to always like win. You're doing everything to get in that person's head. Henry felt like Aljo got one over on him.
Yeah, that was a very interesting interaction.
It's weird that you could pick up on that. It's weird that even you pick up on that.
Why is it weird that he would pick up on it?
And Henry is the type of dude when he talks.
It's weird that he picks that up.
Like he's such like a coach, right? He feels like when he talks, you should be listening because it's gold. Like he's giving you gold, and if you don't respect that, he doesn't know how to deal with that. And I think right now he's dealing with that with Aljo. Aljo's like not showing him that respect. Like, do you not realize I'm an Olympic gold medalist?
I'm not insulting you.
Well, it sounds like you are.
No, I'm saying.
Oh, what happened here?
It's interesting that you're picking up on it, Helly, because I wouldn't expect you to think on that line, right? But it must have been very clear because because you saw it. Everybody else saw it then.
Yeah, I'm not a fighter.
That's what I'm saying, right? So, like, for you to pick up on that going...
What'd you say?
Is he low-key calling you a beta right now? Is that
No, I'm not calling him a beta.
Low-key?
It sounds like he's kind of calling me a casual, which is...
No, I'm not calling you a casual. I'm saying, like, I just think that if you, like, you're like, oh, Henry was very uncomfortable. Aljamain kind of alphaed him there. Then Henry feels that, too. Like, man, everybody saw exactly what I felt in that moment.
I don't think you needed to be a fighter to understand that moment. You just need to be a human being, and you can read people, and you could read what was going on there.
I have a psychology degree in my
bachelor's
in
right after your master's.
So, like, I understood that. You understood that. Cormier did not understand that.
How about a little rapid fire? About time you took a sip of beer. You guys ready?
Yes.
All right, Senko, we're going to start with you. Will a win over Cejudo finally prove the naysayers, or two naysayers, that Sterling is a legit UFC champion?
Absolutely. There shouldn't be any naysayers at this point after what he did to Jan, but yes, if there are any lingering, of course, yes.
This is the one that does it. He puts a beating on Henry Cejudo. You're still going to have some dudes who are like, oh, Henry Cejudo wasn't the same Cejudo. He's older. He's off for 3 years. You're going to get some of that. But for not the casual MMA fans out there, he's the legit champion. He's a problem.
This one does it. This is the completion of the story, where every guy that left with the belt no longer have a claim to it because he beat them all.
He said, I don't understand why the fans have my back now. I haven't changed anything. But the fans do love Aljo a lot more than they did initially when he first loved the belt.
Because he won that belt and not in that way.
Right. It was a different way. All right, who's a tougher matchup for Volkanovski, Aljamain or Cejudo?
I think Cejudo would be. I think build-wise, I think style-wise, speed-wise, I like that matchup a little bit more. I think Aljamain would give him a hard time, but Cejudo more so.
I'm biased for sure, but I just do think he hasn't faced anybody like Aljamain yet. Like, Aljo is not going to be as big, he's not going to be as strong as Volkanovski, but if he is able to get to the legs on him, he is just as good as anybody in the UFC when it comes to wrestling, when he gets in somebody's legs. And if he gets a takedown, he is a real problem. He's going to control, and he's very dangerous with the submissions.
Rapid. I'm going to go ahead and say Cejudo, just because of the stature, his body type, more in line with what you said. I think that would be the issue for
See how underrated he is? See, we were just talking about
because
this.
here's the issue. Like Volkanovski's seen Aljo size, the height, Max Holloway, like those types of guys.
Rapid fire, bro. Rapid fire. Yo, shut it down.
Hey, what's Aljo's path to becoming the bantamweight goat?
I think Aljo's got to keep it on the feet as long as he can. on the outside. And if they do tangle up, he cannot stay in that clinch position with Henry. Did you say Gitter? I can hear it.
No.
You have a microphone, DC.
Hey, what's his path to becoming the greatest of all time in the bantamweight division? I mean, Cruz is the guy now. How does he pass those, and Dillashaw, like, how does he pass those guys to be the GOAT?
This would be the most title defenses in the history of the division.
In the modern era, yeah.
In the modern era. Listen, in a lot of people's minds, this would do it. If you could pass Henry Cejudo, you have the most sequential title defenses in the history of the division. It's hard for me to say because Dom.
Rapid.
Okay, fine. I'm going to sit right on this fence. I'm not going to answer it. I'm going to DC it. I'm going to DC it.
Listen, he beat Jan, he beat Dillashaw, he beat Cejudo. There's no question that he's the bantamweight king, the greatest to ever do it. He's going to have the most title defenses in history. I don't think there's any question.
He needs to win this fight. And then you start talking about him in historical terms. But when was there not a modern era of UFC bantamweight? The division started in the modern era.
No, WEC.
They say, they're saying
they count the WEC
because
they don't.
Well, so when was the modern era of bantamweight in the UFC?
When they started it.
This is the modern era. Are we not in the modern era?
No, we're in the modern era. Since they started the division in the UFC, right? Is that the modern era?
When the tournament stopped, and then the modern era began.
There was never a bantamweight.
Yeah, when the tournament stopped.
155 was always the smallest weight class.
Yeah.
2000 is essentially the modern era.
But I just thought
and when you talk to
I don't know. I think they're confusing us on problem.
Yeah, they do it on purpose.
I've been here 7 years. I think
55 was the lowest weight class until what year?
I'm glad I can educate you guys. All right, who shoots for the first takedown? Sterling or Cejudo?
I believe Cejudo will. I think Cejudo is going to shoot on Aljo before he does because I think Aljo wants to wait and capitalize and take the back.
I think Aljo. I think he tries to go for that Sandhagen quick finish immediately. I don't think there's any stopping him going for the takedowns. I think he wants to let Cejudo know that he's not afraid of his Olympic gold medal and that he's not going to just, sit back and take him as, you're the better wrestler for me because your credentials.
He's a teammate. He gets it. I can go.
I honestly say Aljo because he'll attempt one first, and I think he might get one. He might get the first Aljamain.
And then what happens?
Rapid. Cejudo gets up.
All right. Over under. No explanation needed, just the answer. 3.5 fights left in Cejudo's career. Over, under 3.5. For Henry Cejudo.
Under.
Under for sure. I mean, I'm predicting that he loses this fight, and I think he retires. So, what does he do after this fight? That's something else that we should be talking about, not during rapid fire.
Under. Cejudo has said he only has 3 left.
Yeah.
So it won't be 3.5 for sure.
Okay, well, good. This plays into our next question. If Cejudo loses on Saturday, does he fight again?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think he does. I don't know what he does from here. A loss from him in this division is going to be tough because then what is he doing it for? He was coming back for all the right reasons to create greatness. It wasn't for money.
No, I don't know that that's accurate.
I don't think he's saying it's for money, is he?
He said it's a business trip.
I think it's definitely money has something to do with it.
Chris,
I'm sure it does.
Chris. Yeah. Chris, you think that they added that question because of what you just said?
Of course.
You literally just said that's what we should be talking about, and these guys are going to steal your shit, man.
They're slick.
Yeah, they're fast, too.
I'm the brains of this operation.
You've actually gone from being a newbie to like a producer.
I'm a producer. Taking everybody's job.
I don't think he fights again if he loses. I think it's over.
Okay.
Sad, though.
All right, fact or fiction, Merab will fight for a bantamweight championship someday.
Fact.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not will fight. Will be the bantamweight champion. That's my bad.
Okay. Fact. I think he can get it done. Obviously, it's not going to be against Aljo, but
yeah. Fact. When you do everything right and you're a good person like he is, for taking the backseat to your boy,
yeah,
you deserve it, and he's going to get it.
Fact because Aljamain's going to be a featherweight. He'll have an opportunity, and he'll beat everybody else he's shown he can.
Mm-hmm.
All right, more concerning Cejudo's layoff or Sterling's recent injury problems. He had that torn bicep. Obviously, had the neck injury, a while back.
The layoff for sure. Yeah. For sure.
Okay.
Layoff. Aljo's had plenty of issues and surgeries and stuff, and he's done great in fights, so it's not anything that's going to hold him back.
The injuries, because you never know when they show themselves again. You never know when they'll start to
You're just trying to be different.
I know, I know, right? Like,
Yeah, we can't always just
3 years away. You don't think that's a slight concern?
I love it.
Who's going to have,
He's
well,
like,
it didn't bother John Jones. I'm just saying.
What was that?
It didn't bother John Jones.
Fight was 30 seconds
You see what I'm
long.
saying?
Most cringy post-fight speech if they win, Cejudo or Aljo?
I mean, obviously, Henry. Obviously. Everything that comes out of his mouth.
Cejudo, bro. He's
The heavy breathing. The heavy
Strong.
breathing.
Come on, man.
Hey, it'll be Cejudo, but because Aljo's set up for a successful post-fight speech. He's at home.
I'll be honest, too. Aljo has not been that cringy this week. In his interviews, I feel like he's carrying like a...
Aljo's different. He got a nice swag about himself. Like, he got a nice new
I don't
necklace.
find Aljo that cringy. I
A lot
find
of people do,
Cejudo
though.
unbelievable.
If you follow him on Twitter, you're going to see him as cringy.
No. I'll say this because I can. Because I'm black, too, like Aljo. Like, no, I'll say it. Like, I'll say it. You want me to just say it? Okay.
Go ahead.
So,
Is this breaking news also?
yes, like breaking news. So a lot of, like, black people think he's a bit cringy because of the way he acts.
Yo,
Aljamain Sterling.
What is cringy?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Tell me what cringy
a
means.
lot, like, not me. I don't see it personally because a lot of black people think I'm cringy. So it's like, they just think that he tries hard.
Speaking from the white people think you're cringy too.
Even all my, like, I got a family group, and they all think that Aljo just tries too hard.
Okay.
I think that's what it was. I mean, black or white, I think that's what it was. He would come off as like wanting to say a certain thing, and it just sometimes it didn't feel overly organic.
Authentic.
But this week it does, and I feel like he's owning his championship status. He just feels like he's really comfortable in his skin. He's owning the moment. He's confident. The way he walked up to Henry, his interview with Megan O'Leary, with Ariel, there's just something different about him this week.
Let me tell you something. This is the definition of cringe. There was one time Aljamain came to the International Fight Week where UFC has tons of guest fighters and we do autograph signings, and the UFC didn't put him on it, and he wanted to sign autographs and he wanted to meet the fans. He literally showed up with his own 8x10s to meet the fans and to like talk to people. He fought his way in there, and we're like, nobody wanted him there. They didn't even know who he was. He always had no problem with getting the attention and being in the limelight.
Let me tell you something.
And that could be cringe, but I will say his confidence now is sky high, and he's very humble. Like he's speaking like a true champion now.
Sometimes you have to take ownership. You know who Akbar Baja Biamila is? American Ninja Warrior.
That's impressive.
He's on American Ninja Warrior.
That's a good
okay.
name.
He used to work with me. He's a former NFL player. Played for a couple of years in the NFL. So he started on American Ninja Warrior. He found out his co-host was going to the Today Show. He flew himself out there to be on the Today Show with his co-host. Now he's hosting a daily talk show. Now he's, making but he just took ownership himself, and that's like what Aljo did, bringing his own pictures.
Sometimes you just gotta put yourself over.
Yeah, you can't be cringed by that. Sometimes the cringe works.
Sometimes the cringe works.
Sometimes you have to post thirst traps on Instagram just to get back in the algorithm.
Absolutely.
Why are you looking at?
Do that.
Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
You know, everybody calls
I do remember that's true. Yeah, I see what you did
people
there.
call Aljamain Sterling cringe. Some may think he's cringe, some may not. But one guy that says he is cringe, even in his own words, is Henry Cejudo. I flew down to Phoenix, Arizona to sit with him, and he didn't have the cringe turned on. He was Henry Cejudo, the Olympic champion, and him and I had a conversation.
YouTube.
He is one of the most inspiring, thoughtful, and intelligent mixed martial arts athletes in the world today. Oh!
This fight is about to get stopped. He has a goal. It's to go down in history as the greatest combat sports athlete of all time.
That is it! And still!
He won the Olympics. He won the UFC championship. The guy just wins.
I'm retiring tonight, Joe. I'm 33 years old. I'm happy with my career. Triple C's out. You guys have to hear my ass no more.
I want to go back to 2020. The world shuts down. You're defending your title against Dominic Cruz. You win the fight. Did you know going into that fight that you may step away?
I started thinking of retirement probably that week. I mean, look around, DC.
Yeah.
Double champ, youngest Hall of Famer USA Wrestling, youngest Olympic champ in history. I mean, I pretty much have done it all. You know, I wanted to start a family. I wanted to, eat what I want to eat. You know what I mean? I wanted to live, I wanted to enjoy my life. You understand what I'm saying? So it was more of the fact that you start kind of losing the love of competition. It's not even the sport. And I personally knew that if I didn't have that love for competition, if I didn't have that appetite, then maybe it was time for me to call it quits.
When did that burning desire to compete again start to come back?
Honestly, a lot of UFC fighters played that role. I mean, since I've retired, I've been able to train the likes of David Figueiredo, help them win a world title, game plan for them. I helped Yuri Prochazka win a world title. Jones had come up to me on 4 different occasions. Zhang Wei Li. When I'm breathing into them, it's starting to come back to me because I know how good I still am. But these last 3 years since I've been gone, Daniel, the best years of my life. They really have. And it showed me that I did the right thing of retiring.
At that moment, because now you're back because that thing's back.
Yeah, exactly. The reality is, man, like I want to make history. I want to become the first 3-division champion in UFC history.
When you break down Aljamain Sterling, what do you see that makes you so confident?
He's just not me. I'm that and some.
You just think that you being you is too much for Aljamain Sterling?
Yes.
Really?
I just know that I'm better. Whether it's the striking department, whether it's the wrestling, whether it's the grappling, yeah, I'm just better than this dude all around. And yeah, I do have to respect him because he has beaten some good guys, but I could beat him too. That has nothing to do with Aljamain. It's Triple C versus C4. And that's how I'm seeing it. It's more of a mission for me. Like, it's not just a fight. No, it's a mission because you're not done just with this guy. You're gonna fight again. So like I said before, my overall goal is what I want. I want a featherweight strap. I do think big, and you know, I am a reflection of my mom. And if I'm gonna do something, I go big. I try to go as big as I can, and I mean, I'm in the history books forever. You can tell Aljamain Denzel to polish my belt. And not just that, but also Ronald McDonald, AKA Shano Smelly, he's next. I got all these dudes on the chopping block, and they're all gonna get it.
That was an amazing piece. Daniel does. Despite the hard time that I give him, he does an awesome
really
job
good interview.
on those interviews. But I don't know where you went during the interview. I thought he was going to the bathroom and then
I thought they
coming
went
back.
to go to the bathroom, and then they just didn't show up again.
Oh.
Over here.
Oh, buddy.
Oh.
We're back.
How we doing?
Hey, we're back at the big Blue Balance. Hey, this is a long show. We had to get some food, some fuel. We got some chips. We got my boy Jimmy Stewart out here. We got little CJ. What's up, guys? I mean, it's party time out here.
Bro, we're not weighing in, all right? So we gotta eat. We gotta eat, man.
I mean,
This
dude,
is
I
some
was
good
very
stuff.
famished after the work that we've been doing. This is good tailgating food, but our girl Mackenzie has some ideas on something else that might be good here in the tri-state area. Mackenzie.
DC, if you're saying that the Doritos is fuel for you, I have something even better. You can't come to the tri-state area and not have some of the best Italian food. So we scoured the streets of New Jersey. We found the Meatball King of New Jersey, and we put that title to the test earlier this week.
Let's go. How you doing? How you doing?
Well, we have the absolute pleasure of being here at Pizza Amore with John Speciale, the Meatball King of New Jersey. We are going to put that to the test today, though, because meatballs are made all different ways, and we are in probably the capital of Italian-American food in the United States here in New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey, so I'm really excited to work with you
Jersey
today.
strong.
There we go, Jersey strong. So, meatballs.
Okay.
Labor of love.
Yes.
Lots of work that goes into it. Probably a recipe that's been passed down through generations for you. So walk me through your big ingredients from the meat you use all the way down to the season.
Right. Well, this is a classic mix that we use, which came from my family. My grandmother, Dominica, you know, she was a very good meatball queen, I should say. So every Sunday, you know, we were lucky we get an extra one because we were good. So we got the basic ingredients. We got fresh garlic, you know, parsley, breadcrumbs, pecorino romano grated cheese, and some eggs. And there's a couple other little things in here that we put before we started the show today, so it's a little secret.
A little bit of a secret. I'm delighted to hear you say Pecorino Romano, though, because some people do Parmesan. My mom and my grandfather, Pecorino Romano. So I think this is a match made in heaven already.
All right.
You want to get to mixing?
Let's do it. So, what we
Step
do
one.
is take a little of your fresh garlic, take a pinch of that, throw it in there.
It's a big bowl, so like a pinch is.
Yeah, well, like a little
bigger
more than a pinch. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Some fresh parsley.
Same thing.
Yep. Throw a bunch in there. Throw it right in there. Some breadcrumbs.
That's the hardest
Take it like
thing
this.
to
Take it
put.
like this.
Yeah?
Look at this. Put a little sprinkle in there. All
okay,
right?
I'll do that
I'm
with the
sorry,
cheese.
Mackenzie.
I'll do it with the cheese.
You like
now?
cheese, so you should put some more.
You're the professional. I'm just here to learn from
put
the
some cheese in
Meatball
there.
King.
There
Okay.
you go.
How many eggs?
Fresh eggs. Well, this batch here, we got probably about 15 pounds in this bowl. So usually it's like a 1 egg per pound. That's basically what I remember. So there's a few eggs there.
So now mixing, 15 pounds is kind of a lot.
You got to use your hands, your
Okay.
shoulders. You got to get in there.
So this is the last one. We got it in the pan.
Yeah, what a job. You
And
did
then-
a great job.
Thank you. I think they're ready for the oven. What
They're
about you?
ready for the oven.
I will leave it to you, the
Thank
Meatball
you.
King.
Yep.
So now they're in the oven.
Yep.
How long do we have to wait?
Leave them in there. You let them get their goodness. You let them stay there for a while. 25 to 30 minutes.
25 to 30
Yeah,
minutes?
30 minutes.
What temp?
It's 550 degrees. That's a high oven. And then that pan gets so hot. And then you take them out, and they look like they were just fried.
Well, this is going to be the longest 25, 30 minutes of my life.
Just be patient. That's what it all takes. I'll know when they're talking to me when I open that oven in another 10, 15 minutes. Look at that. And that's what we get on meatballs.
Worth the wait. The crispy on top, cooked through on the bottom. Amazing. Well, I have to try it.
Sure. Wow.
Oh, okay.
Right on point.
I don't even need to chew.
I could use you a couple of days a week.
All right,
Why don't you
okay.
take a little
I think I have a
moonlighting?
future in rolling some meatballs. Meatball princess coming in hot.
There you go. Oh. What our main thing here is we have the award-winning meatball sandwich.
There we go to the Meatball King, John
I
Special.
gotta give you the princess rights today. This is awesome. Very good.
An honor to join the royal family. Come
you
on.
made it. You made it. You're
Salute.
here. Enjoy. Salud.
Yeah. So I know there is a coronation happening this weekend, but this is the Meatball King of New Jersey. I'm the self-proclaimed queen of New Jersey, John Special of Pizza Amore.
I crowned it this week.
Thank you so much earlier this week for having us over. We had an incredible time making the meatballs, and I know they come in a lot of forms, but you guys have a special sandwich that you put them
We
on.
have an award-winning sandwich. We have a special loaf of bread that's made special for our shop that we've been doing for the last 15 years. But today we're going to serve you guys meatballs right out of the sauce.
And the penne vodka.
Some penne vodka
Yes,
on the side.
gravy. Let me get over
Chris
there
is
real
about to
fast. Come
jump
on,
out of his
are you
seat. He
kidding
has
me?
jumped out of
They
his
call
seat,
me
so we're gonna
Carolina
get
Chris
this.
now because I'm from Long Island,
All right.
but I moved to the Carolinas.
This is the championship.
I'm missing this.
And
Here we
Cousin
go.
Mike's going to serve you.
Hey, my
Penny
boy
yellow
CJ.
vodka,
Hey,
fried
Jimmy,
chicken.
get up here and get one of these meatballs.
DC, is there a chance you relinquish
Oh, that penne
belt?
looks really good.
This looks so good.
Let
Here
me
we
see
got a
it.
little Parmesan on there. Let's go.
Oh man! Ooh, look at that! Look at when you just pass. When you pass the fork through it, it just.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
We use a special guy that makes our meatballs.
This is complete BS. You're just going to leave us up on the stage?
You
Best
guys weren't
meatball
supposed to
I've
have-
ever had in my life.
You guys
Thank you
weren't
so
supposed to have
much, man.
meatball. Let's have my
Oh my
girl
God.
Laura a meatball. I'll let her
Yo,
go.
this meatball is insane. It melts in your mouth.
Oh my
Oh my
God!
gosh, that looks so good.
Look at this meatball. Look at this meatball.
Completely
Great
melts
job.
in your mouth.
They're gonna hook you up.
Laura?
Wow!
Perfect temperature too.
Thank you.
Can you want to?
I can't forget you.
Can I get some penne on the side?
This is the best thing we've ever done on the show.
What's that?
You want pepperoni romano on it?
Sure.
How good is that?
To make you a slide.
Ridiculous, right?
Yeah, meatball.
Melts in your mouth.
Oh my goodness! What a tremendous meatball!
It's right in the front.
I'm supposed to be talking to the camera.
Yeah, why are you such
but
a
I'm all
nerd?
in on the
Would you
meatball.
like some penne
It's-
as well? I know you want
It's
penne.
moist.
Okay.
It's melts in your mouth. You can pass your fork through it, and it just comes apart. Look at that.
Bro, I ate my meatball.
I mean, that is a great meatball.
Perfect.
Best meatball I've ever had in my
Really?
life. It literally melts in your mouth.
I love it.
Have you ever had a better meatball?
I don't think so, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
Ridiculous.
let's crown him the champion.
The champs of the world, right there. Give him the belt.
I don't
Give him
like.
the belt.
I don't like.
Pizza Amore. Pizza
loaning my
Amore.
belt.
You guys are world champions. There you go. Get that belt
Get
around.
my guy right there.
Championship belt on, right? Thank you.
Yeah, hold on, bro, hold on.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
This is very rare that he relinquishes this belt, so I hope you feel very special
my friend.
to John Special from Pizza Amore in Carlstadt, New Jersey. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Eddie Alvaga, let's go.
That's unbelievable.
That's really good meatball.
Thank you.
How are we supposed to go back to work after this?
Well done. We have to leave you though because we have
serious right now?
champ with us now, Aljamain Sterling, getting ready to defend his belt for the third time. Is with us. Aljo, can you hear us? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Aljo, what are you thinking as you're watching these meatballs? I know you can't ingest a meatball right now, but maybe by tonight. You getting hungry?
Definitely getting hungry.
in your backyard, first main event, which is mind-blowing, hard to believe. Has this week been any different for you? I know you defended the title before, but this is different.
It's different because I'm home. There's going to be a lot of familiar faces out in the crowd, so I'm excited about that. And, of course, my first main event opportunity, so that's a big feather in my cap for myself and my career.
I don't feel like you watching Embedded that you've been fazed whatsoever by the king of cringe, any of the Cejudo shenanigans. And I love the first interaction in the hotel because I felt like you were the alpha in that interaction. Was that the intention going in, or did it just kind of go down that way?
I guess it kind of went down that way, but I think Henry kind of knows his role in this fight. I think he realizes he's fighting a much bigger guy, a much more confident guy, a guy who's prepared, not on a short notice fight. And I think he's in for a very long night, and I think he's in for a very rude awakening as well.
Aljo, watching
I'm alpha, he's beta.
Aljo, watching you this week in the interviews you did with Megan and Ariel and just watching you operate throughout fight week, and we were talking about it earlier actually, it feels like you are so much more owning your skin as champion, like really, really owning that status, and there's a confidence coming off of you that I feel like is new. What brought that about?
I feel like it's the same me. I think everybody else is saying that because I think they're finally starting to look past the first Jan fight, maybe, and they're actually realizing I'm here to stay. So I don't think I'm doing anything different. I'm just glad the fans are tuning in and seeing what's underneath the surface other than a first bad fight for a championship title, and see that I'm a true and deserving athlete to be in this position. So it is what it is. I'm glad people are starting to take a liking to it, I guess.
Yo. My name is Chris, and I'm here to say I'm the king of cringe, and you nothing in a major way. You just weighed in like dipping a can. Dude, but just understand that I'm the king of the cringe.
That was terrible.
What you got, bro? What you got?
Weidman, you don't want it. I come over there and take you from it. I'm gonna slash you, dash you, cut another hole in you, pass it back, slash him up again, and show you that I can never be the king of cringe. So I'm gonna whoop up on that boy on May 6th, Cinco de Mayo. Come through, I'm gonna get that dinero.
Bro.
That was terrible. That was not my best.
Listen, you kept on going and you kept on falling, but I'm here to pick you up because I'm the king of the cringe.
You guys, stop, dude. Hey, honestly, y'all both actually sound like Henry Cejudo trying to rap. Like Aljo,
it's really bad.
Yeah,
Can we delete that?
This is promoting his rap song that he has out. He's got a rap song out now. Obviously,
Aljo, my song is a lot better than that.
His song is way better than that. Yo, Aljo, you're usually way better than that on the freestyles, and so am I. That was not our best under the lights.
My brain's a little foggy.
Yeah, your brain is not there right now, and for some reason I'm drunk on spaghetti. I don't know what to tell you. What were those dudes saying to you at weigh-ins? I saw there was some interactions there. I heard there was some curse words exchanged. Who was talking trash?
It was Jimmy Neutron, his security guard. The kid with the big old bobblehead. I don't know. know, just screaming out and you. But you know what it is? It's one thing when Henry does it. It's another thing when the coaches do it. The guys who are not fighting, who deserve to get smacked in the face and being straight, like, disrespectful to the athletes. Like, those guys, I will walk up to them and just give them a fucking wedgie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have some respect for these guys. Have respect for what we do. Like, if you want to sit there and be a fanboy, or you want to be there and be an actual coach and a cornerman, like, know your role, play your position, right?
Yeah,
So,
100%. Listen, we got some of the best cornermen in the game. You got Longo, you got Al, you got Marab, you got Ray. I mean, you got
That's
Matt.
a lot of wedgies.
You
That's
think
a lot of wedgies
you
to
think
give
any
out
of
to those
those
guys.
dudes are going to be screaming and taunting Henry Cejudo during weigh-ins? They're not taunting him. They're not stooping to that level. That is freaking weird that they're doing that.
Well, we're grown men, we're professional, and we don't dress up in velour suits like it's the early 2000s.
Yeah, I agree, bro.
Aljo,
they're going hard with the boxing theme.
It's crazy. Aljo, I imagine Henry trying to rap would sound like what you and Chris just did. Like, just try. That's bad. That was bad.
That didn't happen, bro.
That was bad.
It didn't happen.
That's one of those things that didn't happen.
We're going to delete that.
Aljo, I'm actually kind of happy that you're doing your interview with no shirt. I do that a lot. Like, usually when I interview, I don't wear a shirt because I look like that also. But Aljo, did you expect them to be at the weigh-ins? And do you think, like, it's just that old boxing thing, right? Where they're trying to watch everything you're doing to make sure that everything's on the up and up, when in reality, you've never really had an issue with the scale.
Never had an issue with the scale. I saw them in the lobby when I was walking down. I had a feeling they were going to do some cheesy, corny thing like that. And, of course, they came down like little fangirls. And it is what it is, man. I never miss weight. I make weight all the time. And I think that was something that they were hoping for. For whatever reason, like, I got more than half a million reasons to make weight. So I'm going to make weight every single time.
Aljamain, so what does tomorrow look like? As we are now done with all this, right? You are done with the interactions with Henry Cejudo. You don't have to talk to him no more. You don't have to see him. You get to go into your bunker. You get to go get ready as the champion of the world. What are we going to see tomorrow night from Aljamain Sterling?
You're going to see Aljamain Sterling, large and in charge. As soon as that bell rings, I'm walking across that octagon, pushing forward, staying in this guy's face. I'm going to put the pressure on him, take his ass down, backpack him, and send him home. Put these fists in his face and send the Krish back to retirement, where he belongs. You want to go do YouTube? Go do YouTube for a living. It's not a bad gig. If you want to be here and fight, come in here and fight.
I love it. I wish you would have rhymed on that one, but that was good.
Let me get a couple more pounds, and then I'll come back to you at the bar.
I'm very impressed with how good you were, considering where you are right now. In an hour, you would be superb. Aljamain Sterling, bantamweight champion, fighting Henry Cejudo tomorrow night. I cannot wait to watch this go down. Thanks, Aljo.
Look at those arms.
Thank you, guys.
He is jacked.
He looks skinny. He looks skinny to me.
Yeah, but in the...
Nah, he looks strong. He's a big
jacked.
son of a gun for that weight class.
All right. Guys, we're going to play a little game here. As you know, the Prudential Center is home to the New Jersey Devils.
Yep.
Knocked off the Rangers in the first round of the NHL playoffs.
Yes.
We're going to play a little game called Devil or Ancient Greek God, okay? Because there's a lot of players on the Devils who kind of, their names kind of sound like Greek gods. So, for instance, if I say Zeus, you're going to say God.
Yes.
Okay?
Got it.
All right? If I say the name of somebody else, you're going to say devil.
So it's God or devil?
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's God or devil.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Devil or God? Hermand. Oh, I can see that we're turning around already. Hermand is the Celtic god of healing.
Damn.
He is a god.
This is a problem.
All right, you guys ready?
Yes.
Devil or God? Belobog. Belobog. Devil or God? Belobog is a Slavic god of light.
Dang it, so good.
So these are any gods, not just Greek gods, by the way.
I thought it was.
Yeah, that was like a
Greek god.
biblical.
Devil or God? Danico. Devil or God? Danico. Is he a New Jersey Devil or is he a god? Devil, you are right. Ken Danico, known as Mr. Devil, played 20 seasons in New Jersey, won 3 Stanley Cups.
All right, devil or god? Zarlik. All right, turn him around. Zarlik is the Turkish god of judgment.
Dang it.
That was a lot of gods so far. All right, devil or god? Brodeur. Devil or god? Brodeur.
That's Martine.
Yeah, Marty Brodeur, the Hall of Fame goalie, all-time leader in wins.
Here's the problem. Let's say this. Laura she waited, then she saw Chris and I writing.
No, I didn't.
Bro, I swear to God.
Is that what
Run the video back.
No.
Dude, because if we do this, right? Dan, watch this, Dan, watch this. Tell me which one I went.
Devil.
Are you serious? You really think I put...
He's not a smart kid.
He's an idiot.
It really
bro.
did look like
Super
no.
smart.
She saw it.
Why does it take you so long to
Laura,
write 3
which one
letters?
am I doing?
Well, that's God. That's quick.
You see, that's what I'm saying. That's what Laura did, bro. She watched you. She had no
Not
idea.
everybody has to cheat to win, DC. Not everybody has to cheat to win.
She had no idea, but we're both. We said his first name. We should get a point for his first name.
No,
You're not getting a point for that. It's a 1-point game. All right, we're going on to the next one. Devil or God? Holik.
Holik.
Devil or God? Holik. Devil! Bobby Holik played 10 years for the Devils, won 2 Stanley Cups.
If I had watched what you wrote, I would have gotten it wrong.
I took a chance.
I needed that.
Devil or God? Tarhuns. Tarhuns. Devil or God? Tarhuns is the Bronze Age god of weather.
I knew that.
Did you?
I did.
All right, devil or God? Tatar.
Delicious appetizer?
Tuna
sorry.
This is Tatar.
I know this one.
All right, turn him around. He is a devil.
Let's go! Let's go, Thomas Tatar.
Left winger, currently playing for the Devils.
See, hey, you saw what I did this time? I hit it from Laura's ass.
All right, devil or God? You ready? Eliash.
I know this one too.
Devil, wrong.
Oh, no.
Devil. He's the all-time leader of all time.
Number 26.
We know that one.
Number 26. I know my hockey.
Patrick.
Number 26.
Somebody just gave you that.
How do you say his name?
Patrick.
Yeah, you would have said Patrick if I didn't say it before.
Devil or God? Dagda. Devil or
Sure it's
God?
pronounced that way? What's country of origin?
But what if I tie her?
That we wrestle.
Turn him around.
I went devil because I knew she went God.
He's the Celtic god of Earth.
Oh my God.
Senko wins it? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
She cheats.
You didn't know I knew my hockey, did
There you go.
Well, they barely put any devils. Oh, they barely put any devils. They did all gods to give you a chance. Here you go. You've earned it.
I know God and hockey.
I'm not a bad loser. So take your belt. That stupid
I
ass
feel
belt.
this is every show. I win all of the intelligence games, and then I completely fall flat on my face when it comes to anything athletic.
Because we got to humble you by the end of it. You see how egotistical that sounded?
It's very crazy.
All right, I would like Chris, since you were my teammate, but you're talking all sorts of mad shit right now. Chris, spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel,
After
bitch.
everything we've been through. I took you on my team for throwing and catching. And this we do to me?
That should have been
I had to
punishment.
pay
That
the
should have been
ultimate
punishment
price.
enough.
Oh, yeah. Round and round we go, where it stops.
Ooh, 10 champs, 10 seconds.
What is that?
All right, when do I go?
You need to name 10 champions in 10 seconds.
That's not hard.
Or,
Yeah.
he's got to do something.
What do you mean?
Or shot roulette. If he doesn't get all 10, he's got to do shot roulette.
I like that rule.
Yeah,
I think
Shot
if we get-
roulette
if he-
is for all 4 of you.
No,
It's
I
on
agree.
the, it's on the thing. It's on the thing.
So yes, I agree. All 4 of you are punished as a team.
Okay,
we're just
so
gonna
give
do
it
shot.
10
I gotta
seconds.
take a piss.
Ready? 10 seconds, guys. Chris, you got to name 10 champions in 10
All
seconds.
right, where do we
Ready?
start?
Go.
All
10, 9.
right, Chris
You can
Weidman,
say
Anderson
Laura
Silva,
Sanko if
Daniel
you want to,
Cormier,
because I have a
Aljamain
belt on
Sterling,
right
Matt
now.
Sarah.
3.
You can totally say,
2.
look at my
Matt,
belt.
1. Time.
Just say Laura Sanko. It's fine.
How many did he
That's
get?
impossible to do it in 10
You
seconds.
guys are talking the whole time he's talking. You got to name one
That
in a second.
wasn't a rule.
I counted the 10 seconds. We didn't have a clock.
All right, so we need a little
I was
shot
giving
roulette.
him a suggestion.
All right, RJ's working
That was
on it
ridiculous.
right now.
He's talking over me the whole
I think
time.
he might be eating a meatball. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I had to wipe up the marinara off me. So we're gonna
Okay.
do shot roulette. Don't
gosh.
smell
It
it.
doesn't really
Don't
feel like
taste it. Keep
it doesn't
away
really
from
feel
your
like this
nose.
is a punishment for Weidman.
He said
Listen, don't smell.
it.
Do not smell.
Guys.
So one of
Literally
these is a
said
shot
don't
of
smell it.
tequila, and the other 3 are water.
Listen, if
All
I
right.
vomit, you're gonna know
Hang on,
I got
I will
tequila.
say the
I can't.
producer said you guys
three.
keep talking over each other. Stop.
On the count of 3, we all take a
I'm
shot.
so scared.
Right?
I can't.
1, 2, 3. Down the hatch, all of you.
Oh, thank God.
I have water.
Yeah, water.
Water.
DC got it. DC got it.
Yeah. Only one was
Yeah.
tequila?
RJ, can we flip that monitor
man.
right there to
Yo,
program?
you can't curse like that.
How can I get that? Like, why do I get the shot? Oh my God!
Did you not like it?
I love it.
It was pretty smooth, but like, how do I get the shot to kill? I made the rule.
I can't
It
drink
should have been
tequila.
Chris Weidman, 4 on the table. Oh,
Yeah, that doesn't. it's
he
not bad
picks
punishment.
1, right? Because there should have been 4 on the table. Chris Weidman picks 1. Either it's a shot or it's water.
So we didn't play
You're
the
not the
game
producer.
correctly.
We didn't play the game right. We should have had 4 cups, because he's the one getting punished.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
should do it now.
RJ, can we do it again?
Reload it,
RJ?
shots. I mean, 10
Hey, guys.
in 10 seconds.
Because
I'll
you
give
lost.
You a chance.
No, because you lost.
I'll
no,
give you a chance.
It's too late. Now you've
You
thought
can
about
rebuttal
it.
me.
I
So
have a
you
game.
already lost.
No, for you. You get to name 10.
I have a game.
Can you do it?
I can do 10
All right,
champions.
you ready? Starting now. Ready?
Wait, no, put a clock on the thing.
No, I'm doing what you
This
did.
show is so far.
And go. 1,
Aldo, Cormier,
2,
Jones,
3, 4,
Weidman,
5, 6,
Silva,
7, 8, 9,
Rockhold,
10. Sorry, you
Velasquez.
lose.
We're doomed.
You're out.
Santos.
We're
You're
not
out.
seconds. You would have gotten it.
I would have. The clock just
That's
buzzed.
what you did to me.
No, the
That's
clock
what you
just
did to me.
buzzed.
I had no
Close.
clock.
It was close. All right, let's move on.
No, let him do the shot roulette. We're not moving on until he does the shot roulette.
No, I'm not doing that.
Let's do something
Don't bring me
else
down.
while we're waiting.
You lost.
Okay, let's go.
You lost.
Do you know this is the 9th UFC event here at the Prudential Center?
Yes.
Yep, I did know that.
If you, like outside, it's actually very cool what they've done because they put up posters of all the big moments, all the big fights, all the different.
No.
events. He wants
Put it on the table.
He wants it on the table.
Weidman chooses
So put
one
it
of
on
the
put it on
4.
the whiteboard here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's Chris's punishment. Go ahead, Weidman, take 1.
Oh, he knew exactly. That's water. That was it. No
Water.
That was
Water. Okay. Then that's good. That's good. I'm okay with that.
Okay. All right. So we've done that. Check the box.
Okay.
Favorite Prudential Center moment.
Yes.
DC, let's start with you.
I love this one. The late, great Anthony Rumble Johnson beating Ryan Bader, because we all thought that this was going to be a fantastic fight. We all thought that Ryan Bader, who was on a win streak at the time, had an opportunity. He shoots. Rumble takes the backside, and then next thing you know, it's over. Bader is on his belly flat with Rumble just going crazy. I think this fight spoke to the power of Rumble Johnson because Ryan Bader wasn't even willing to attempt to fight him. That showed you how dangerous Rumble was. That was my greatest Prudential moment.
Okay. My favorite Prudential moment is when it was a personal thing. I'm backstage and Chael Sonnen is about to walk out to fight John Jones, and he's literally about 3 minutes before he walks out. I'm walking past Chael Sonnen's locker room randomly. He happens to see me out of the corner of his eye. He goes, "Yo, Weidman, come here." So I come in and he's like, "Yo, Weidman, John Jones is wrestling. He can't be that good, right? He was a junior college kid." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I don't think he's that good. I know people who wrestle him, they beat him. Like, you'll be fine." He was like, "Yeah, he can't beat me, right? I was a Division I kid." I'm like, "No, yeah, you're good. You're definitely good." And then he offered me an apple. He was like, "You need an apple?" I'm like, "This is the most awkward thing 3 minutes before you walk out. That's a Chael Sonnen thing." And then he goes out, he's like taunting him, and then it ends up not being a good fight for him. But that's my favorite and most memorable
Was that your honest
moment.
assessment of John at the time, or were you just trying to not tell him that he
No,
was going to
no. Well, listen, I just was in shock that he's asking me my thoughts on John Jones's wrestling as he's about to go out there. Like, he's looking for advice from me. I'm like, "You're good, man. You got this."
For me, it's Covington versus Lawler. Partly because I was there. I mean, that event was so much fun for so many reasons. You've got the Trout family showing up. You've got Colby Covington absolutely having a coming out party in that fight. I mean, that fight was absolutely insane. And then after the fight, you've got Colby and Kamaru going back and forth with each other. Remember when they showed Kamaru up at the ESPN desk, and they were just absolutely going crazy?
I remember.
I love the walkout. The Kurt Angle.
The Kurt Angle.
There was like, you suck. And there, people that didn't get it were like, he doesn't realize they're all yelling, you suck. It's like, no, he's doing that because you want that. That's what Kurt Angle used to deal with. It was amazing.
And then Trump called him on the phone, like when he was back. It was a cool night.
It was a big night for Colby Covington.
Yeah.
A lot of great nights. Mine goes back to 2011. This is UFC 128. History was made in the UFC when John Jones becomes the youngest champion at just 23 years old. And this is when we knew this guy's the real deal. I mean, and at 23, you have 10 years, you have 15 years of greatness from this guy. Of course, he's gone through his issues and come back and now won the heavyweight title. And it's to me, it was the most memorable moment.
Honestly, be honest, the way you were looking at that, the first time you've seen that.
Did you ever see that fight before? This is not the problem. You told me you didn't start watching fight until 2021.
Why would you guys? I'm trying to have a moment.
Wyman, I'm watching his eyes. He's looking at it like, oh man, that was amazing. It was the first time he's ever seen that fight. He's like, wow, he looked really good back then.
Oh my God.
That was crazy. I can tell when someone's haven't seen something before. That was you never seeing that before.
That was not. Why would you guys not let me have my moment?
I did, and I
Why do I
love
have
it.
to be the punching
You're
bag
such a good sport, though. That's what it's all about. You're a good sport.
Oh my God, I can't believe that.
What was the first UFC fight you've ever seen?
Not that.
It better be before 2011.
Definitely that one. I started watching UFC 1 to UFC 20.
Oh, yeah. So you've been in the game.
This year?
No, not this year.
At the time?
You mean, what was the first fight I ever saw live?
No, with your own eye, like in your eyes, where you're like, I like this sport.
Yeah. It was probably one of the early Chuck Liddell fights.
Oh, so you've been a big fan. You've been a big fan of the sport for a while.
I know the first fight I ever saw. I do. I can remember it. To this day, I'll never forget it. Chuck Liddell fought that guy.
Tito Ortiz?
It's like that, right? It's like it was always Chuck Liddell and it's some guy. It was like, who's that guy Chuck Liddell's fighting?
I think he's making fun of me. Do we have a weigh-in we can go to?
We do. I think we do.
Well, speaking of big-time names in the UFC, how about a Gracie? How about Kron Gracie stepping in scale?
Yeah, you don't get a bigger name than this. Kron Gracie coming back, I mean, over 3 years away. Had a couple of fights 3 years ago, won one, lost one, but the name says it all. I mean, unbelievable. And can I tell you something? This has been him all week.
He's not here for shenanigans.
He's not here for anything.
No, he is not.
He doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want to take pictures. He doesn't want to be on camera. He doesn't want to sign posters with Henry Cejudo.
It's more appealing to people, though. Almost like Nate Diaz, right? He doesn't want to be on the camera. Like, I know they're boys, they train with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of is like F you to everybody.
Yeah, he wasn't
I feel
nice.
like he's kind of going that
He
direction.
wasn't very nice in the fighter meeting. It was almost like we're bothering.
Attracted to it.
Chuck fought Rampage. That was my first one.
Oh, really?
Okay? I mean, what? I say, nobody fed me that.
Well, but dude, seriously, Chuck and Rampage, like the sport was already like there. We'd had arrived. We had already arrived.
UFC 71?
Yeah, we had. By 71 we arrived.
Stats now. He's throwing out stats.
Dude, Zach Candido's in your ear because he's a nerd. Yes, he is. He's a nerd. And he's telling you all these dates. What's the date, Zach? Why don't give him the date, Zach?
Listen, guys, I'm sorry I didn't grow up wrestling. Okay, I played stick and ball sports. That's what I did.
Hellcat. So what's the date of Chuck versus Rampage? I bet you know it now.
Yeah, it's 2007.
No, what date? What was the actual date?
I don't know the actual date.
Sure?
I do not remember the actual date.
1 second later.
I don't remember the
Zach
date.
can tell you, May 26th.
Listen, guys, I'm not great with dates. I barely remember my anniversary.
You matter.
Come here.
Okay? You matter. Come here.
You feel like we're bullying Ellie?
You matter. All right.
See,
You're doing a great job.
somebody on the set cares about me.
You're doing a great job.
God, you guys are assholes.
You matter. Yeah, Chris. You know guys, dog. Fucking thank you. We can't.
I guess we know our teams.
We can still hug each other. Hey, now guess what? You want to be buddy with Laura? We throw eggs again. You got to be her partner.
Oh.
There could be other things
I'll take her with the game. I'll take her. She could be my teammate on the game.
Why is your voice squeaking?
Hey, Laura, you see how fast he changes? He goes, oh.
Can we do like a knowledge-based game for the end of the show for once? That's
why
the
do you have
problem.
to attack our brains? We can't control that.
Listen,
You got a master's degree. The only person up here with a master's degree.
I am the most educated person in this whole damn arena.
Wow.
And I don't act like it. You know why? Because I'm very secure in myself.
Clearly, there's a lot of cringy moments and statements that are going on in this show. All right, how about let's talk cringy, because we got the King of Cringe coming up on Saturday.
Yeah.
Cringiest moment in UFC history.
All right, me. All right, I'm gonna
Let's start with you, DC.
All right, I'm gonna start. Bro, when Jeremy Stevens, let's listen to Jeremy Stevens shoot his shot at Conor McGregor. He shot a shot.
Take a look around you. You got a lot of champions, a lot of grizzled vets. Who do you think would give you the hardest fight out of anybody on stage?
Right here. Right here, the hardest hitting 145 pound, the real hardest hitting 145er right here. This guy TKOs people. When I knock people out, they don't move. They're not. Who the is that guy? Who the is that? You know damn well who I am. Who the is that?
So fucking hey, bro. He goes, who is that? He goes, who is that? It was almost like you could take Jeremy Stevens and like, dude, can we just like poof, make you disappear? Because he wanted to crawl inside of himself at that moment.
I felt bad.
I felt bad.
And that lives on, bro. People who aren't even a big fan of the sport, they
what
start
did Conor say? Conor said after he won his boxing match, he would fight who?
Who the fuck is that? That's what he said.
That's who he is now.
Who the fuck is this guy?
He looked around and he goes, who is that? That's bad.
Yeah, that was cringy.
He's more well known for that than all of his great knockouts.
Yes.
All right, guys. Now you know I'm a big time guy. When I cut to the audio.
I'm tired of all this hype. Everyone talking about Pedian's the greatest guy, and yeah, you better win your fight because I'm coming on your ass, boy. I'm coming for that ass. Pause.
Aljo, in this fight,
Bro, that is the best thing ever. You know, we just did hear Aljo freestyle against me. You know, he wasn't in his best form, you know, just cutting weight. But even then, after a fight, he might need some practice on his freestyle as well.
He always does that too.
We freestyle every phone
Aljo always says some inappropriate shit and goes pause.
As long as he says pause.
He always does that. He's always like, says something and he goes pause.
That was good.
Does that work when you're fighting with your wife?
To be fair, there's a lot of
You
stuff
can
that you can
pause.
say
You
in
can
MMA
pause.
that taken out of context is
I wish I said pause and I said that about you the other day.
Pause.
Okay, for me, for whatever reason, I love this moment so much, but it's probably because I identify with it. So we got Nate Diaz sitting there, represents one side and watch Luke Rockhold. He's like,
Oh no, Luke, please. Oh my God, Luke, please.
He's like,
so uncomfortable. Luke's like, man, Luke's like.
Dude,
He Ricky Bobby.
He couldn't handle it.
He
bro.
Ricky Bobby.
He couldn't handle the attention on
How
him.
can you be that good looking? It'd be so weird.
That's how he can be so weird.
Is he not smooth?
Bro, but he doesn't have to be. So that's the problem with being like that good looking. It's like you get all the women. You don't have to talk to them. You could be like just
he
this
cannot.
odd.
If he talks to him, it's over.
It's
he
over.
doesn't get the girl.
Like I've been in places with Luke before where there's girls, and I'm like, you don't want to get to know him because the moment you get to know him, he will not be this good-looking guy. Luke's all like rubbing, licking his lips.
Yo, he's like, look how sexy I am.
I am just as sexy as they get.
Yeah, he smokes weed.
Wow, the double clap.
Yeah, he stopped him.
And then he gives you the blue eyes.
Bro, he's doing the model Zoolander. Oh my gosh.
Leave my friend alone, man.
Yeah, no, you killed him enough, bro. You killed him worse than me.
Wow, that was pretty good. I don't feel so bad about when I had my Luke Rockhold moment on the way in show. You called me out. Yeah, because you're always the problem. Max Holloway's problem was Justin Gaethje back at 218. UFC 218, he had kind of a tough weight cut. They had to bring out the towel. They didn't have the big box that came out at the time. So Gaethje's holding the towel. The logo's upside down, so he just decides to flip it around. And Russ is right. Remember this?
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, what?
Oh, berries everywhere. He did it on purpose.
Oh, no.
Hey, look at Justin laughing. Why is
Deputize Justin Gaethje?
Yo, Gaethje, that's dirty,
So
bro.
it's more funny than cringy, but I thought that was a pretty funny moment.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not know? The towel's not that big, bro. You lift it up, you flip it around, everything's there to be seen.
I think he did it on purpose.
Can I say something? When I was weighing in, they could have taken the towel. I'd have been fine.
You okay?
Whatever. You want to take a look, then take a look. I am secure in myself. You want to take a look, you want me to stand up now and show you?
Sure.
Dear God, don't.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would love to see that moment.
Yeah.
I did it to Stipe on The Ultimate Fighter.
Did you?
Yeah.
This is getting crazy.
Yeah, I did.
Well, when you were holding the towel in Buffalo, you could have just pulled it up.
Wow. I did it to Steve move. Wow.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
No genitalia in mine.
Hey, bro, you must be hung like a horse then.
We're going all the way back to UFC 57. And you know, when you win a fight, you have the crowd in the palm of your hand. You don't have to do anything unless you're Paul Buentella.
No.
I want to say one thing. See if I got some fans out here. You ready? Here we go. Don't fear me. Come on, baby. Hey, you know, don't fear me, fear the consequences, baby. You know, I've been training hard. I'm not looking to call anybody out.
That's so hard.
Oh, it's so hard to watch. It's so hard to watch.
I can't watch that.
You know another
That's
cringy moment that we got to throw in there? When my dad said, and that's still
That's
my mother. He stole the mic from Logan.
Hey,
I was like, Dad, no, please.
That was far more.
Hey, Chris, you probably like that. Go back to the locker room.
I love him. But I'm like, Dad, please. I just got beat up.
Does anybody have that sound? Does anybody have that sound? Chris's dad.
I'm surprised none of you. I was waiting just to handle that, you know, with coverage and just
I
pick it
actually
up.
thought about it. I thought about it for a minute, but
Well, you're scared now because of what happened with
well,
Nugraco.
because you lit me up so guys were making TikToks out of it, and all of a sudden I became the biggest casual, and then you poured kerosene on the fire today. You're always trying to make me look stupid. All right, let's play a game. Who said it? I'm trying to make you guys look stupid.
Okay, so is this like for the belt again?
All
right, let's go.
Wait, I don't have
this
the
is
thing.
for the belt again.
Yeah, it is.
All right,
if we're
let's go
playing
for
the
the
game,
belt.
let's go.
These are quotes from either Cejudo or
Hang on. I got to get my bulletin board.
Okay, let's do it.
Wait, what is this?
Okay, let's do
A quote
this.
from who?
Either Henry
All right,
or
Aljo.
Aljamain.
Oh, this is great.
All right? You won't find a better competitor than me.
What?
You won't find a better competitor than me. Henry or Aljo?
They are scary similar sometimes with what they say.
All right, flip them. Cejudo.
I thought that was just too, obvious.
All right, here's number 2. There is nothing but me making history. There is nothing but me making history. Is it Henry Cejudo or Aljamain Sterling? Cejudo. Oh, everybody got it. Good work.
Wow.
All right, number 3.
Why is Laura always freaking
You
do good on
quit
these?
when the competition starts to get tough. You quit when the competition starts to get tough. Aljo, you guys all got it right.
Chris is waiting way too long.
All right, number 4.
What are you talking about?
That's easy money fighting him. That's easy money fighting him. Don't turn him. Don't turn him too early, guys. That's easy money. Henry Cejudo. Out of everyone in the division, I'm the toughest fight for him.
What was that?
Out of everyone in the division, I'm the toughest fight for him. Aljo, got him.
Did anybody get one wrong?
Me, the first one.
It is personal, and I do want to hurt him.
What?
It is personal, and I do want to hurt him.
Oh my God.
This is Cejudo.
Wow, that's Cejudo said that?
Yeah.
We have to give the fans a show
I think
and
he
get
said
the
it
win.
in your interview, by the way.
We have to give the fans a show and get the win. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
We have to what?
We have to give the fans a show and get the win.
Oh, I got it. Oh.
Aljo, you all got it.
Come on.
There's only one king, and he's right here. There's only one king, and he's right here.
I'm taking a chance on this one. Taking a chance.
Cejudo. Single's pulling away.
Okay. Damn it.
You picked the wrong one, my guy. You picked the wrong one, my guy.
He said it like that? No.
Aljo.
Shoot, I'm done. I'm breaking. I'm
Number
breaking.
10.
I gotta take a piss.
My resume speaks for itself, and I'm just going to keep adding W's. My resume speaks for itself. I'm going to just keep adding W's. That is Sterling.
You know what's crazy? It's you can actually tell by the way you read it, because when you read Aljo's, you try to sound black.
No, that's not right.
That's why I'm winning.
Oh my God!
Paper, but I'm gonna make this one look easy.
I can't hear you.
Tough fight on paper, but I'm gonna make.
You're trying to sound white, but now it's black. Say it one more time.
It's a tough fight on paper, but I'm gonna make this one look easy.
Don't let us bait you. Don't let us
It's
bait
Aljo.
you.
You guys are all assholes.
That's great. What a call.
You actually tried
That's
to
the
sound
worst
white
call
now.
out of all time.
You actually tried.
Stop trying to sound so white now. It's too obvious. Laura's over here, and you're looking at the. I just saw her look at his paper. She just cheating, bro. She just
Laura is definitely
Did your
cheating,
eyes
bro.
look at the paper? Yes
The
or no?
whole time she was.
Wait,
Go back to the
did it?
video.
Go to replay.
I just
Go to
think
replay. I stand.
It's over. Dude,
It's over. I'm not playing anymore.
Quit, because she's cheating. We caught you.
I'm walking off. I gotta take a piss anyway.
We caught you, Chris. We caught her cheating. Laura's definitely
Just
cheating.
admit it now. Admit it now.
Guys, you know the Devils game? She doesn't know anything about hockey. Somebody told her that the names are in the rafters.
Oh my God!
She's able to see the retired numbers in the rafters.
That's messed up.
That is
You're
just
cheating all over the place. This is why you win in the smart stuff.
That's being resourceful.
And you don't let us cheat off you?
That's being resourceful.
Wow. Yo, can you believe that?
I didn't need to cheat on that.
I want a replay of her eyes, a close-up of her eyes peeking at that paper.
Pick up a shot.
I'm not doing that. You guys,
what?
No,
we have to grab a shot.
I gotta go work again.
Yeah, you're.
DC,
you have to.
That would be
you have to.
No stiffing.
What? Me? I won.
You cheated.
I did not.
Cheater, pumpkin eater. Don't drink it yet.
God dang it.
He got it again, didn't he?
God, I hope Senko has it.
You smelled it? Don't smell, Laura.
Ready? Ready? Go!
I didn't get
No,
it.
it's
Yeah,
Laura.
she got it. Charlotte, get
Laura,
it down.
you cheated
Yeah,
too.
swallow
She
it down.
smelled it.
Oh,
Swallowed,
wait,
Laura.
what? You having trouble with that.
Hey, follow with the beer. Follow with the beer.
Did you swallow it?
Laura, take the beer as a chaser.
Just get it down. Oh, she got puke on show?
Oh, please throw up. Please throw up. Please throw up. Please throw up.
Puke.
No!
You spit it
I
out?
really might need to run off stage. I'm not kidding.
Drink it with your beer.
Oh, how's the beer?
Oh
gosh. Give her
somebody
something.
bring her a beer. She needs a chaser.
We have an emergency. Where's the ambulance?
She's still spitting it out.
I can't. I told you I can't.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. That's like that time she ate all them hot chips.
I don't want to throw up on television. I
You
really
won't throw up. You won't throw up. Okay.
All right. While Senko's recovering, let's take another look at what is going to be going down
brief interruption
on Saturday night. Right, we're getting things kicked off with Joseph Holmes and Claudio Ribeiro in the curtain jerker. That is going to be a good one. Phil Hawes, the New Jersey native, looking to get back on track again. Ikram Aletskarov, and he's making his debut. Braxton Smith, Parker Porter. Braxton Smith, the former semi-pro football player, and Parker Porter, heavyweights in the featured early prelim. Marina Rodriguez and Vina Janjidoba.
Hey, let me know when I can take a
couple of top 10 women strawweights in the prelims, which are starting at 8 p.m. on ESPN, by the way. Kennedy and Zechiku looking to make it 3 in a row against Devin Clark, and I am looking forward to this one. Drew Dober and the local boy Matt the Steamroller Favola in the featured prelim. Cron Gracie is back in main card fireworks that start at 10 p.m. Eastern time after 3.5 years away, taking on Charles Air Jourdain. Mavzar Evloyev trying to keep his perfect record intact, 16-0 against Diego Lopez. And Jan Xiaonan and Jessica Andrade. I'm going through, why these guys are still talking. Belal Muhammad, Gilbert Burns in the co-main, and then Triple C back in a title fight against the champ, Aljamain Sterling. All right, I think we...
I was texting the producer.
Look at the cheating here. Look what DC did. Yeah.
Daniel!
He realized it was tequila, and then he didn't want that.
I told you in the dressing room.
Yo.
I told you.
Hey, this is what you get though for cheating.
I didn't cheat. I
Karma.
told you that I cannot have tequila.
Specifically?
Yes, specifically. That was bothering me.
You got caught cheating. Why'd you cheat, bro?
I feel so betrayed right now.
Laura, please don't do this to me. You and I, we have, we're friends. Don't let them come between us. They're really trying to draw a wedge between us. Don't do this. Don't fall for this, Laura. This me, Laura.
I just saw it.
Laura, this me. Laura, this me.
Yeah,
Believe me, not that. Not the edited footage. Believe me, not the edited footage. Laura, seriously.
Can you explain yourself?
The footage can be edited.
Why did you do
You
that?
think that was edited?
I literally, before we went on
think
air,
about it.
and I knew that this was a possibility, we're in the dressing room. I'm like, DC, you gotta understand, like, I cannot drink tequila.
What is it about
But Laura, think
tequila?
about this, Laura.
I had a bad breakup with tequila when I was like 20.
But Laura,
It
think
was
about this,
bad.
Laura.
This
Think
your
about
first time having it since?
Yeah, but Laura.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Think about this, though,
I'm
Laura.
40.
Laura, think about this. Chris Weidman.
Good for you for taking that shot.
Chris Weidman said maybe we should be talking about what Henry Cejudo should do next. And then all of a sudden it's the next question on rapid fire. So they can do whatever they want with video. They really can do whatever they want. Like, you saw how fast they did that, right, Chris?
That was quick.
You saw it,
That
right?
was quick. They're
So that
geniuses.
video is edited, man. It saw me pick it up. And then did you notice the video had like a little glitch?
I feel so
And
betrayed.
it was like
You and
fast.
I-
It actually
you and I
did not
are
have a glitch.
It had a
you and I are
glitch.
Day one. You and I are day one.
Hey,
What?
Betrayed.
Are you ready for
Yes.
a little Modelo rent-free moment?
Yes.
You can handle it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't swallow most of it, so we're good.
I'm not going to go anywhere with that statement.
Oh my!
She's trying to bait us. Don't do it. Don't bait.
I think she is.
Don't take the
I
bait.
think she is.
Consume. I'm sorry, I didn't consume.
Okay. What's your rent-free moment?
My rent-free moment was, taking it back to a serious moment, when Henry Cejudo fought Demetrius Johnson for the second time for the world title. First of all, you're going up against a guy who seems unbeatable, and then this happens to you so early in the fight. Some of the worst drop foot I've ever seen someone have. Rolls his ankle, and then he comes back and finds a way not only back into this fight, but he beats what many people to believe is the greatest of all time. It's Henry John Jones. And for Henry to come back after an issue like that, we've seen guys have drop foot since then. Sean O'Malley, I'm trying to think who else has had it, but typically the fight ends. Michael Chandler had it in Bellator.
And that big dude, Jimmy Crute. They all had it, but their fights
Jimmy Crute,
Their fights
against Anthony.
That was right before
It's
I broke
fight
my leg,
ending.
that fight.
And to be in a championship position against one of the greatest in the world and collect yourself mentally and get back into that fight, that's crazy. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The obvious rent-free moment, not just for me, but for all you guys, if you're actually honest with yourself, is when Aljo won the belt. All the drama that was surrounded around that, whether you liked it or you hated it, the guy won the fight. He was losing towards the end. He gets illegally, blatantly kneed in the head while he was down. It was the weirdest thing because Peter Yan was talking to his coaches and asked, should I hit him? And he said, yes, I think, in Russian. And he does, knees him obviously in the head. He stays down, but this was big, but not too many people are hating on him at this point. But then he goes back and he takes a picture with the belt on. And then people just didn't leave him alone. Now he's known as Denzel Washington. But at the end of the day, he's with all his friends and family. They want him to put a belt on, take a picture. He takes a picture with the belt, and then that's kind of what's kind of like hovered over his career and why he's so underrated. I
Because
feel
at first he took the belt off and he put it on the.
He wasn't fussed at that point.
But he was smiling with the belt. But I feel like
he wasn't smiling with the belt.
He had a smile.
You mean
was smiling.
afterwards? Well, to your point, you're with your family and they
after
want
the
to.
fight. No, I'm saying afterwards. They had a
They're
picture
like,
with him.
Come on, man! You won the belt. Just
Right.
enjoy it. It's his first time winning
Right.
the belt. It's not his fault he got kneed illegally.
Agreed.
Okay, I'll take a picture. He doesn't realize he's
Yeah.
going all over the internet. It looks like he's happy, partying and enjoying the belt. He wasn't. But he just ran with it then. He made a decision. All right, do I say sorry to everybody and pretend like it was not a big deal? Or do I just go into it? He went into it.
Well, it is, even though it's, Henry Cejudo, Aljamain Sterling in the main event, it's Jessica Andrade's fight night, the most electrifying finisher in mixed martial arts. She can knock you out with a punch to the head, punch to the body, pick you up, slam you through the canvas, take your belt. She can tap you out while standing. No one is more diverse and more violent of a finisher than Jessica Andrade.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It is good.
But for me, Henry Cejudo, resilience. Demetrius Johnson fights him the first time, just wipes him completely out. He comes back and he beats him. It reminds me of Henry Cejudo in his wrestling career, where the year prior to the Olympic Games, he was last. He got beaten the first round. Fast forward 13 months, and he is the Olympic champion. I think this speaks to Henry Cejudo and who he is as a competitor, and it allows for him to believe that he can go in there with Aljamain Sterling and win the belt after being away from the octagon for 3 years. This is Henry Cejudo.
All right, how about Drew Dober's comeback against Terrence McKinney last year? T-Rex riding a streak of 5 straight wins. Hasn't been troubled 10 seconds into the fight. But Dober
comes back, powers through with under 2 minutes to go in the first round. He lands a knee, gets a little ground and pound, and then it's over. Dober wins by TKO.
That's amazing.
He's a dog.
That's amazing. But guys, you know at times I have to pivot. There's one more rent-free moment.
Oh, give it to me.
That just lives with me forever. It's not his fight card, but we're in the tri-state area. He is the king. He's on the stage right now. Boys in the back, help me out because I got a rent-free moment that I can't get rid of with my boy Chris Weidman. Let's take a listen.
You know, all I can do is work hard and keep a positive attitude. If I lose, it's my day to lose.
Well, Chris, you have been a fantastic champion, and I'm sure you will come back and be better than ever, and it was a pleasure and an honor to call your fights, including this one tonight. Thank you very much, sir.
And everybody, thank you. And this is still my boy.
The great Brian Gallagher, one of our guys, Brian Gallagher, pulled in the middle of the show like, you wanted to see it. I mean, hey, a father's love.
Yeah.
A father's love.
It was like he thought people thought that he would disown you when you lost.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, no.
I still love my son. Because here's the thing, right? He's a wrestling dad. Normally you lose. Wrestling dads are like, get your ass to the back. No dinner for you. So you probably thought it was over. Like, this dude's done with me.
Yeah, he was going to disown me. That was a big moment for me. I wasn't embarrassed at all.
What was most important was that you never cried until your dad said that. Then I saw you, a single tear roll down your face.
I was fine with losing the fight, but when he grabbed the mic, that's when everything,
That's kind of like when the winner lifts the loser's hand up, you know, and you're just like, don't do that. Kind of like
or you're the loser and you lift your own hand up. You think your hand's supposed to go up? You ever do that?
You know what I'm going to be lifting up on Cinco de Mayo? What'd you do with my medallion?
You learned that raise your own hand shit in junior college.
Yeah, you start putting your hand up on accident. Whoops.
Guys, it is Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk Mexican food.
Oh, yeah.
Cinco de Mayo, because
do we have some?
Yeah, I'm going to go first. My number one is chicken and shrimp fajitas. I like kind of the mix. I know it's kind of simple, maybe a little bit Americanized, but that's good. Beef enchiladas.
Just the way you're saying enchilada.
Enchiladas. Great. My mom's a Spanish teacher, by the way. She used to say guacamole, right? Chilaquiles for breakfast is unbelievable.
Chilaquiles?
Give me a little tortilla with chorizo and some fried egg and some of that green sauce on top.
We got some really authentic tacos here.
Oh, great.
You know?
I look like Taco Bell, man.
That's exactly what it is.
Are we really eating Taco Bell on Cinco de Mayo?
All right. You know, our Taco Bell canceled on us, so we went this way.
It's Taco Bell.
Authentic sour cream.
All right, guys, you ready? Here's my top three. I live in Gilroy, California, so the Mexican food's authentic. I like a good chili verde. It's a green sauce, pork, very spicy, over rice. I also love the refried beans, Laura. Ain't nothing better than refried beans. And I like the birria tacos. It's like the roast. Dude, this birria is so good. It's so tender. They put it in the taco. It's this. I need you and Gilroy with your boy to Russell. And I'll take you to get some real tacos. I'll get you chili verde, and I'll get you burrito tacos. You'd love that.
I'm a Taco Bell guy. A soft taco supreme. That is my favorite thing.
One time I gave my sister
extra sour cream.
Like
I gave my sister authentic tacos, and she hated them. She wanted tacos.
Oh, Laura's? It's Laura's turn?
It's apparently my turn.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I like my food to have pageantry. I want the whole restaurant to go, who's eating that? I want that sizzle. I want that moment. Fajitas. I don't care what kind they are. I want the fajitas because I want the entire restaurant to turn around and see that cloud of steam as it comes to my table. Tamales. A good, authentic tamales. There was a lady that used to come through our neighborhood and she would sell them out of the trunk of her car.
Yeah, they sell them at the grocery store in my house.
In this little wraps of, that's when you know it's good, when it's coming out of the trunk of someone's car.
That lady sitting in the parking lot. I brought her to my list.
And number one, I gotta go with a simple taco. It's just so good. Simple taco.
A little taco. A little taco. Hey, you know all my wrestling families, you know what I get a Christmas gift? Tamales. Bro, I have more tamales than anything in my fridge around Christmas time. It's the best.
You like them?
They're so good.
You know
No, I didn't.
You know why it's a Christmas gift? Because you unwrap it.
Yeah.
Oh,
very nice.
Is that why?
I'm married to Mexico. We make tamales every Christmas Eve.
Why they give me all that? But the husk
for poor families.
It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah. You always make it
all right.
that time.
Throw on my food. We got tacos. I mean, like I said before, Taco Bell, grew up on them. The Mexi Melt, Taco Supremes, love it to death. Quesadillas, my man CJ, my son over here, 10 years old, makes quesadillas from scratch with some
CJ.
fresh butter on it and some good cheddar cheese.
Bro, CJ is Puerto Rican, not Mexican.
No, yeah, but he's Puerto Rican. That's right. He's Hispanic.
Did you? No, CJ's Puerto Rican, not Mexican, bro.
Okay, he can still. Are you trying to say that other people can't make any quesadillas?
Well, I'm just saying, bro. It's not like my kids are running around making freaking quesadillas.
Just because he's Puerto Rican, he can't make quesadillas?
My kids, I would expect more like maybe some, what's the chicken?
Let me ask you a question.
Adobo or something.
If there were Spanish guys in the kitchen in an Italian restaurant, do you go there?
No.
That's racist.
What?
Spanish people can't make Italian food?
I don't want that.
I like how you're impressed that your son can mix tortilla and cheese.
I'm like that you say this. What?
I'm like, you're impressed that your son can mix tortillas and cheese.
Are your kids cooking
He's
yet,
over
RJ?
a fire. He's cooking over a fire. Man. That takes
Give me your last one.
and enchiladas.
That is the most American Mexican
Cain
food list
Velasquez
ever.
would be, Cain Velasquez, Jair Rodriguez would be so disappointed in you guys with these lists.
Guys, this is really all you need to do for Mexican food-wise. As a guy who grew up in Southern California, going to Tijuana like it was Disneyland, this is what you get at a Mexican restaurant. You get margaritas.
Oh, my goodness.
You eat tequila shots.
No, you don't.
And you eat Modelo.
Espacial.
That is how you do it. Mexican water, right
bro,
there.
you know what I just tasted? Modelo Negra.
It's good.
It's good.
It's
good.
The dark Modelo's a really good Modelo.
It
Let me
is.
start bringing some of those up here. But you
The
can
other
tell.
part you do though, on Cinco de Mayo is you hit a piñata. You guys ready to hit a
Oh,
piñata?
yeah?
Let's
do it.
Hey, you can
Let's
tell,
go,
you
everyone.
can, you
Is
can
this a
tell who lives in
competition?
California on this one, right?
Oh,
Because those lists were just terrible.
Come see us on Italian food, though. You taste those meatballs?
That's true.
All right, beat them out of it.
I'm stacked.
No urine break.
Here comes the
Like you
pinata.
don't know you're Puerto Rican, man. Like, it's crazy.
Over here, boys. Over here, guys. Right over here.
Back with
Over
CJ.
here. Guys, over here.
All right, over here.
On this side, please.
Wait,
Got
so
the
does
lighting
this
for
mean
you.
Laura keeps the belt?
Yeah, it does, because
What
it's
a
not a
nightmare.
competition.
So
It's
Laura's
chilly.
the champ. You get to choose the order in which people take a whack.
All right.
Three swings each.
I'm gonna go Dan,
Okay.
then Chris, then DC, then myself.
All right, are there teams here?
Spin him.
It's an individual game.
It's an individual game.
Oh, great.
I'll spin you.
There are no friends when it comes to
Give
piñata.
me a better order.
Come on. Wait, we gotta spin you.
What would you prefer?
I'm not sure.
Okay, dude, slow down.
Slow
All right,
down.
stop. At least let him face the piñata.
Go, Cal.
Oh, yeah, there you
Go,
go.
go.
Feel,
I
you
didn't
feel.
put my hands up.
Go, Hellcat.
Oh, what? You just hit my
Oh,
son.
next.
CJ, you okay?
Is he?
CJ!
Oh, God, he's lost.
Put him on the ambulance.
Good job, Dan.
Stop.
That's it.
No, I'm second.
You're second, but stop. I did it wrong with Hellcat. Put the thing on your eyes.
No, they said they just told me I don't need to wear that.
Okay, put your head on the thing and spin around.
Dizzy bat?
Dizzy
That's
bat.
the way, dude. That's
ready?
how you do it
All right,
at
how
home.
many?
Wait, he's a
5
blindfold.
seconds.
All right, hang on
5
a
seconds.
second.
Blindfold.
How are we ever going to open this up
5
with a
seconds.
plastic bat?
5 seconds. We'll count to 5 as you spin.
I got 2 sons who play baseball. I'm a baseball coach at this point. I know how to squish the bug. I know how to keep my elbow in my hand.
Ready, go.
How many times?
2,
10 times.
3,
No, shut up, bro.
4, 5, 6,
I gotta take a piss.
7, 8, 9, 10. Go.
Okay.
No, right now, hit it.
Stay away.
Swing it. No, the other way. Turn the other way. Now swing.
Swing, go.
Swing.
I don't know where I am.
No.
Wait. This way?
Behind you.
Chris, you're going away from it.
Yeah.
Wait, let us put you. All right, right.
Let me get close.
All right, go.
Right here?
Right in front of you.
Yes.
Oh, you went up. I Everybody stay away.
Okay.
Stay away.
You're out.
Jesus.
That was terrible.
DC.
Here, I'll hold it.
DC, come.
If they gave me a
What is that?
piss break at some point, I would have been fine.
You were going, all right.
I need to hide.
No, let's go. No, stop. Get down.
Wait, stop.
Come on.
Stop, wait, I'm already
Let me show you this new wrestling move I like. Right here.
Hey, stop, get mine.
All right, put your head down. Come on. You gotta do it. Let's go. 10 times. Come on. 1, 2. Come on, faster. 3, 5, 6, 4. 7. Don't be a bad sport. Come on. 5, 10, 6. Oh, he's cheating.
Oh my God! Oh.
He's back.
Where's it at?
Right in front of you. Oh, he touched it. No, look at him. Stop smiling. Oh, he broke it.
There's no way it breaks.
He's Brendan Fitzgerald right now.
Your turn. Here, your turn.
That is so good.
Will you
10 spins, 10 spins.
Polish that for me while I'm...
I feel like I'm gonna vomit.
Head press under that again.
Hello.
Okay.
You see how I got your move down already? Yeah, that was good.
1.
Faster, Lord.
Faster. Come on, don't cheat.
3. 4.
All right, 5. Go. Let's go. You got 5 more.
You got 5 more.
You got 5 more. You got 5. Don't cheat. 5 more spins.
I can't stand up.
5 more spins. 5 more spins.
Turn to your left.
Right in front of you.
Turn to your left.
Right there. Yep.
Right there.
You got it. Swing. Yep, you got it. Oh,
Hit it again, Lord. Hit it again.
Yeah.
Oh, she broke it.
Big shot.
Again, Laura. Again.
I gotta get my rangefinder.
Right there. Right there. You got it.
There you go.
Swing.
Go.
CJ! CJ! Not CJ! Hey, my CJ! Oh, my God. You okay?
What's up, dude? That was good.
How about a pro? CJ.
All right,
Oh, CJ, show him what's up. Let's go. Squish the bug. Squish the bug.
Let's go.
Look at that. Oh, we got him. Go! Let's go. CJ. All right. All right, we're all going to the ambulance?
CJ Weidman, ladies and gentlemen. The big bubulance. Thank you.
Good job, buddy.
Chris, let's get out of here.
Let's go. Go ahead, get in there. Go. Get in there.
All right.
Go ahead.
We're on UFC 288. Coming up tomorrow. Thanks for watching the official UFC weigh-in show presented by Modelo, everybody. Oh, God, no! Let's go!
See you later.
This is a crazy show.
No, this doesn't close.
This is a real ambulance. This is crazy.
This is crazy. I can't believe they let us do your show.
God, I'm going right to the bathroom.